And welcome everybody out there in the wonderful world of Twitch. Hopefully, you can hear my voice out there. This is that time for that daily seance Twitch, moment where we say, "Can you hear us?" Anyway, which is kind of appropriate. This is October. We are in Spooky Month, and this week, we are doing a Seriously Let's Play with a kid's guide to monster hunting with Crystal Mazer. I'm really excited. We actually have a wonderful cast today. We almost always do. Usually they're better when I'm not on them. But,
Oh,
Well, I also
you
like
know,
the fact that you were like, we almost always have a great cast.
because they're better when I'm not on them.
Oh
I
yeah,
have my.
but
no,
come on,
bullshit.
John.
Sorry, poop.
Uh,
You're not allowed to do that on this.
duties,
It's my show.
all
I
the
was joking. It's
duties.
not my show. This is the community show where we actually bring on people from all around the great internets and also the tabletop RPG community, including creators, artists, designers, and the fans themselves. Because ultimately, there is one thing that unites us all, and that is gaming. And we love to get together and play games and really get to know each other and bring some unity back to this community. So, with that said, I think this is a great moment to go ahead and turn the show over to our host for the day and the creator of this game, I believe. Yes?
Nope, I
No?
didn't create it. I'm the lead developer and writer. But I can
I'll
take
hang
over.
my head in shame. But yes, it is now the moment for Crystal. Crystal, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. So, Kid's Guide to Monster Hunting is a PIP system game. PIP system was created by the wonderful Eloy Lasanta. If you do not know him, you should definitely follow him on social media. He is also the lead singer and songwriter for Strays of the World, which if you've not followed, also you should do that. Um, but Pip System is just the crunchy bits of the gaming world. It is just the system, and you can put anything on top of it. As the lead developer, every quarter I put out a new setting for this, and the next one that's coming out is going to be Spycraft.
Ooh.
So it's all about James Bond, and I think I'm going to do gentle role playing, similar to like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing for the system. So,
If you
as
need
my next one.
playtesters,
So you can see Aaron is visibly worked up.
I love cozy systems. They make me happy.
And I've added a whole bunch of stuff to Pip system through this, and now I'm like, what can I pare back and just use like the basic framework? So I'm gonna challenge myself with that as a developer. Um, the Kid's Guide to Monster Hunting was a Kickstarter stretch goal for the actual Pip system Kickstarter. And it is essentially a guide written by kids for kids on monster hunting. In this game, most adults actually have forgotten that monsters exist. And there is a point where you eventually forget that you were a monster hunter. And so the older you get, the more and more often that starts to become a reality. And there are some adults and some kids, older, like teens and stuff, that do know that monsters exist, but there's not a lot. So kids run around trying to defeat these monsters, and adults think that they are just causing chaos. And what happens when you have to balance fighting monsters with the real life repercussions of your actions when adults don't have context? So, yeah. So Pip system is super simple when it comes to the actual crunchy parts. All of the players actually do all of the rolling, and as a storyteller, there are very few roles that I actually do because the players have both sets of dice that they are going to roll. So, for my players who have their character sheets up, if you take a look at your character sheet, I'm going to go over everything really quick. If you are following along with us on the Twitch stream, if you go to Drive Through RPG, there are free character sheets. If you want to follow along, please do so that you have some context as to what I'm talking about. You can also go to Third Eye Games, which is the publisher for this game, and there are character sheets on there as well. All right, so if you look, you have your character name and the age. All right, and I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves and their characters once we get to that point. Your archetype is basically who you are, the role that you play, and the way that you approach things. You're not actually stuck with your archetype. If you do stuff outside of your archetype, that's okay. That's totally allowed within the system. You're going to see abbreviations for PH and MH, that is your physical health, and your mental health. Those are how many hits that you can take. If you get down to 0 for either of those, then you either go into fight or flight response. And you either run away from a situation or you end up doing things that you normally wouldn't do within whatever you are comfortable with as a player. Your initiative is what we're going to roll or add to our D6 that we roll once we start combat. And fortune is right up at the top. Fortune are things that you can spend. Everybody should have 3. You can gain fortune by doing some things that are outside of your nature or character type. You can also do things like taking risks, getting super creative with things, or choosing to fail at something. All right. For using fortune, you can use it to re-roll any failed dice. You can use it to add dice to a roll. And I will also allow it for other creative things if you so choose. There are rules outlined within the PIP system core book, as well as some other alternative things that I've outlined in some other primers to use it for, such as magic enhancement and stuff like that. You have skills. The skills are going to be the big things, and the number next to it is how many dice you roll for it. If you have something inside of parentheses, such as I'm looking at Danny Lynn's character sheet right now, and she has sharpshooter. If you are doing something that is considered to be a sharpshooter, you add your aim plus the number next to your sharpshooter for your dice roll. Okay? So that is going to be one color. Within the book, it's labeled as W, which is white dice, versus black dice, which is your challenge rating dice. Your challenge rating dice or CR dice are how many dice that I tell you to roll, because that's how many you have to beat. And those are labeled as B within the in there. So you roll those, and on both sides, 4s, 5s, and 6s are successes. You need more white dice successes than you have black dice successes. All right? In order to succeed. Okay. You just need 1 success. If you happen to get more, if you happen to get at least the CR rating or above of successes on your dice, it's considered to be an exceptional success. And then there are also exceptional failures, where if the opposing dice rolls way higher than you do, that's a thing.
You said exceptional failure, and I felt like so seen.
Aww.
Sorry, I promise I'm paying attention. I'm just grabbing more dice because you told me this is a fistful of dice system, and I'm very happy about it.
It is a fistful of dice system, yep. You are going to see on your character sheets monsters, and those are monsters that you have encountered before. Some of you have more, some of you have less. Is that one of those pretzel bites containers of it is?
Those are all pretzels. They're not dice.
I love it. I love it. So you're going to see either confidence or fear. Confidence is that you have won against those monsters a certain number of times. Fear is you have lost against those and ran away from them or entered flight response. Okay? So there are going to be some things that you dread seeing because they just inspire some sort of fear inside of you. And those will actually affect the CR rating for those monsters when you are rolling or doing certain things against them.
Yeah.
Everybody has a special ability, and that's something that you are really, really good at. You actually automatically will add that stuff to those things. just remind me as a storyteller that it will be applicable. Or you can use it a certain number of times. Some of them have you can use it once per scene, once per game, whatever the case may be. Because this is a one shot, if you use it and you spend a fortune, because it says once per game, I will allow you to also do it again. Your hindrance is stuff that you're not really good at, or things that bother you. Sometimes they are mechanical things, and sometimes they are role playing to a fault. So use wisely and discretionary, but yes, they do apply to your characters and can be things that are bothersome. Does anybody have magic in this system? I don't see any magic.
I think so. Unless my baseball bat is magic.
How? Nope, that's not. But Powers Monster Wrangler is definitely going to be something magical. So, you are going to, that is, magic is not magic in the way that we think about it, like traditional Dungeons and Dragons style. It is kid magic. It is stuff that is definitely born of imagination and the pure belief that red makes things go faster, if you get the reference.
Yeah. Red adds 5 horsepower to anything.
Yes. So, powered by Capri Sun.
I'm down by 1, so.
And then advanced qualities are things that you actually had to have specific skills and qualities for. And those are things extra that you could add on to things or lead with and then add on to. So I have one of you, it looks like, that are really good at certain things. And that's going to be very interesting to see. Your armor and your weapons are going to add certain things. And just remind me when they come up, they will add dice or subtract dice, or they will add health to you and take away stuff that happens to you. Is there anything on character sheets that is confusing or that you have questions about? And again, if something comes up during gameplay, please feel free to ask. I am not one of those storytellers that expect everybody to know everything. So
Thank you
Appreciate
You've given
it.
a
so
great
much.
explanation. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
okay. Awesome. And as we get to things, I will also help remind you guys as to what you need to look for on your character sheets. And I have everybody's character sheets pulled up. So I'm going to do a quick explanation of Kids Guide to Monster Hunting. So you play kids. You are kids at a campsite, overnight camping over the summer. You are in the middle of the woods, and you are, some of you this may be your very first time camping. Some of you, this is an old hat. This might be your last hurrah for camping before you start going off and doing other things. Okay? And so each of you have a different approach and feel to how you feel about this camping excursion. And it's getting to be like the middle of summer. You've been at camp for a while now, and so you're comfortable with it. And you're getting to the point of where the days are getting longer and it's kind of getting to be a slog, and you're just kind of wanting to get home. It's not quite the excitement of the end that's near just yet, but it's like, oh, when is this going to be over? You're at that point. There's like that cusp, right? Where everything's exciting, and then you get to the point where it's all old hat, and then you start to get excited about being able to go home, and then you start getting sad because it's going to be ending. You're right about there when it comes to this. And yeah, so I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves and their characters, and give a little bit of what you would like the audience to know about your character. So I'm going to go down my list. I'm going to have Erin start.
Hi everyone, I'm Erin. I'm one half of Skatebox Games. I will be playing Danny Lynn today, and she is a child of nature. She loves camp. She's very happy to be here.
John.
Hi, everyone. I am playing Billy, and Billy is the rascal. And 13 years old. What time is this set in, out of curiosity? Are we back in the day, like the 80s, 90s camp? Are we like modern camp where cell phones and other things exist, really quick?
I'd say it's more like salute your shorts type of time.
Okay. Because he's very much the kind of kid that went to camp and is wearing the sleeveless shirts. More than likely, right now, he's wearing his favorite, which is a Toxic Avenger sleeveless shirt. Except Toxic Avenger is turned around and he's wearing a bikini, and the little dog is pulling the string off of it. It's the old copper tone shirt, except Toxic Avenger, because that's the kind of guy he is. He is all trouble, and he knows it.
Hey, Michael.
My name is Michael. You see him pronouns. I will be playing Lex Chambers. Alex Chambers, everyone calls him Lex. Some of the kids might call him Lexi, and he's not a big fan of that. Lex is one of the older kids at camp. He's getting to that age where, like, this might be his last year of camp. Like, next year, he may be expected to hold down a summer job instead. Um, and let's see, Lex is, he's wearing a t-shirt, some cargo shorts, some hiking shoes, baseball hat. He tries not to get too dirty. Like, he's trying to look good for the older girls at camp. That's primarily why he's there now. Maybe to meet a cute girl. Who knows? But and there's this whole monster thing.
Looking for that summer lovin'.
Maybe.
All right.
Ew. Danny's 8. That's gross.
Yeah, no, that is gross. That's why. It goes without saying. That's gross.
All right, Kaylee.
Hi, I'm Kaylee. I use she, her pronouns. I'm playing Aisha Rhodes. She is 12. She is what is known as the Gizmo, which is basically she's just really hyper prepared for everything. And while she was not happy at all to come to this camp this year because, well, it's not space camp, it's not math camp, it's gross outdoor camp where everything is dirty. She's been making friends and is starting to have fun. She still gets picked on a little bit because she's always like wearing like very clean clothes. Like today, she's wearing like a fitted like beige shirt tucked into what look like khaki cargo shorts and brown boots that all have just different shades and are different, differently. They fit together really well. And she's always carrying like a little backpack around and picking up random things off the ground to look at them.
All right. So we have the start of our story starts with, as it usually does, which is a ghost story around a campfire. And some of you who have been to this camp have heard this ghost story before. If you're new to this campground, it is of the campground ghost. And this campground ghost was said to be one of the campers many, many years ago who wandered off into the woods late at night by themselves because they thought they saw someone else running through the woods and wanted to stop them and bring them back to the campsite, and ended up getting lost and never seen again. And it's told in such a way where you kind of know it's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it plays just a little bit in the back of your mind, that primal sense of fear of being left behind or forgotten about. And even though you've heard it a couple times, it still kind of bothers you. Just a hair. Just enough to be unnerving or to set you off to where you don't want to show that you are afraid. And it's one of those things where they end the story, everybody screams, and then they're like, okay, now you all walk back through the woods to your house. to your camp house that you are staying at, and then you hesitantly start to go through the dark woods in pairs, because that's the goal, is to keep everybody paired up. And that story generally tends to accomplish that. So within our campground, the camp houses are boy and girl. That's traditionally how it is, except for there is a boy house, girl house, and they have the same number, but one is A and one is B. And so you are in the camp house that you are most comfortable in, and they are right next to each other in like a circle. There's like a circle of them, but you are in camp house number 13A and 13B. So, what are your guys' reactions? What is everyone's reactions to this story? How are you guys walking back? What are some of the things that are playing off of your minds?
So normally Danny would be like looking at all the different little trees and talking about the different plants and different animals that could be living within them. She's weirdly quiet coming back and sticking really close to Aisha. She sees Aisha as like this great informed older friend because she's just smart and put together. But she's kind of looking around the woods as opposed to like talking about the woods for once.
And I think Aisha is walking along, and they're obviously to reassure Danny. Aisha is holding her hand, and in her other hand, she's got one of those large flat, like it's to her, it's gigantic. It's actually like a 2C cell mag light that she pulled out of her pack, and she's like darting it around, like looking all around. You know, it's wavering back and forth, and it's almost nausea-inducing how fast it's moving back and forth as they go through the woods. I mean, the cabin's just down here. It's just a story. There's nothing to worry about. We're gonna be fine. Perfectly fine.
Yeah, I just don't like ghosts.
No, ghosts are horrible. Anything invisible are they're not good. But they're not nearly as bad as goblins. Don't let goblins near you. Goblins are bad.
Billy is probably about 5-10 feet behind y'all hearing those stories. And it's just like kind of sneaks slowly up behind the both of you and is like, and the last meal they ate were beanie weenies.
Come on, Billy, that isn't funny.
Why? Because that's what we had earlier before we had to go out there to the campfire. Come on. I mean, you gotta admit, it's kind of funny they're called beanie weenies.
Ghosts are not fun to run into in the first place, Billy.
And like from behind, there is like a little tap on the back of your head from Lex, who like steps up behind you. Knock it off, Bill. Let's just get back to the cabins.
I put my
I hate
arms.
that story.
My character unfortunately would probably not care that much, but he just like tries to put an arm on y'all's shoulders and it's just like, hey, we're all friends here, Lexi. It's all good.
Don't call me Lexi, Bill.
Aw, I'm sorry.
No.
Stink
I told
bomb,
you,
and he
don't call me Lexi.
he tries to grab both your heads and shove it into his armpits. And if you
have a
say
way
it
to
doesn't work, it
resist
doesn't work.
Danny's
Are you
just
talking about
squirrely 8-year-old, so...
Yeah, who are you grabbing, actually?
Billy is grabbing Aisha and
I was trying to come up behind you and put arms around your shoulders, and then I was going to grab you and pull you in and shove your faces into my armpits.
Appropriately.
Appropriately.
Diffusing all the tension.
It's not like I teach children.
Hey.
Crystal, I'd like to spend a fortune to reach into my pack, and using Always Prepared, I pull out a can of men's underarm deodorant, and as he goes for it, I grab his shirt and
Ew.
just like I let loose for a good 10 to 15 seconds till he pulls away.
Oh, you
Oh, that's
axe bomb him.
nasty.
I axe bomb him. Yeah.
Oh,
God, I
that you
smell like your
absolutely,
dad.
absolutely are able to do that. Yep.
If you're going to grab people and make them smell you, you should at least not smell like a whatever that was. Skunky.
Aisha, everybody in the cabin thanks you.
Here, you can have the leftovers. Get his feet when you're at it later.
No, it's okay. Bill doesn't shower as much as the rest of us.
Actually,
know.
skunk smell can be used in some expensive perfumes.
Whatever.
Should we
All
then
right.
catch some skunks to, like, milk them for their fence?
Well, we don't really have a good way to find
Ew.
skunk glands in the cabin, so it might be a weird thing to do, but we could try.
Come
Maybe
on, folks.
maybe towards
Hey,
the end.
Folks, let's just quit screwing around and get back to the cabins, okay?
All right.
Sorry,
At this
sorry,
point,
Lex.
I'm going to have everybody either make your investigation or survival, and your challenge rating is going to be a 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to check your investigation and survival. What you are looking for is noticing your surroundings. So if there's anything, a quality that you feel fits, let me know. So you're going to get your dice together, and then the challenge rating dice is going to be a 2. So you're going to get 2 dice, roll them together. 4s, 5s, and 6s are successes.
So can I stack my quality and my special ability?
Yes, you can. What quality do you have?
The quality I have is forest, which we're in a forest,
Yes,
and
you
my
are.
special ability is commune with the earth, which allows me to add a white die in appropriate environments.
Yep, you can absolutely do that.
I netted 1 failure die.
Ooh, okay.
And Crystal, just so I'm clear, I'm rolling the total number of dice for my skill versus the 2 dice for the challenge, correct?
Correct, yep.
Okay,
You roll all of those dice together.
thank you.
And we're
Your
looking for 6s for successes, or
4s, 5s, and 6s. Successes on challenge rating dice take away from your successes. So, Kaylee, you have a net -1, right?
Correct.
Okay.
so I've got a net 2.
Net 2?
2 successes, 1 on my challenge. So 2 to 1.
So 1 success total.
Yep.
Okay.
Same, I have 1 success. Sorry, 2 successes, challenge die, 1. Let me rephrase that. I have 2 white successes, 1 black success, so I have 1 success.
You have 1 net success. Yes, correct.
Yeah, it's just like in Star Wars where you
Got it.
they
Yeah, they-
negate.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
So, Aisha, you are looking around, and as you are putting the axe back into your bag after Lex says that they're not going to need it because he doesn't shower very often, something catches your eye in the forest, and you're fairly certain that one of the other girls that are in the cabin with you just walked off into the woods. The rest of you notice that within your group, you are the only ones left on the trail. Everybody else has passed you by, walked on, and is no longer visible within the woods.
Guys, Jenny just walked that way.
What? No.
And Aisha, your flashlight flickers just a little bit.
I should have gotten the better batteries. Thread cells would have been much better. No, Jenny just went back towards the campfire.
Aisha, I think you're seeing things. Everyone else cut ahead because Billy held us up.
I swear I saw her. She just went back that way. She didn't have her buddy.
Did anybody else who got a success see Jenny?
No, you guys did not see Jenny.
Okay.
Aisha, I like a good prank, I gotta admit, but there's no way anybody's going back to the fire. Come on.
It's not a prank. We gotta be buddied up. Let's go help her. And Aisha's turning around to start heading back.
Wait, Aisha, what if we went to the cabins and made sure that Jenny wasn't there first, and then go back to the?
Then we won't know where she goes. I just saw her, so we can be right on her tail. I mean, there's at least 4 of us here. It's safer if we go pick her up. Then there's 5. 5 is better than 4. Although
Does
it's not
I-
an even number.
So
It's
does
a prime
Aisha
number, though.
is Aisha just taking off, or is Aisha
Yeah.
waiting for us?
She's like kind of like half stepping, like half step. She steps and stops, and then looks back, and then steps and stops. She's moving, but very slowly, trying to get you guys to come along.
If she just left the cabin, it'll only take a minute. Come on, let's just go. Let's go find Jenny. And we'll all get back to the cabins.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lex.
Okay.
It'll only take a minute.
Yeah, no problem. Again, it's not like we had beanie weenies for dinner.
We just had a big story about how we're not supposed to be separated. Like,
We're not
like,
separated.
We're not separated. We're all
yeah,
together.
but Jenny
We're not-
apparently isn't. Jenny is pretty good at following the rules, so I'm like really kind of confused as to why Jenny would be going by herself.
She probably forgot her stuffy or something like that. She's always needing that thing.
How old is Jenny?
I think Jenny's like between around 9 years old.
Okay. Look, just point me where you think you saw her. Let's just make sure. Because honestly, I'm not too worried about us. I mean, we're not going to get any. This group here is not going to be any more separated from everyone else than we already are if we go back to the campfire. So whatever, let's do it.
See, Billy makes sense, and Aisha points the flashlight over there. It's like there. She was over there, and as she kind of gestures with the light, it goes out, and then it kicks back in. Stupid batteries.
Try to hold that thing
Let's
steady.
Let's just be quick. Come on. Let's quit screwing around. Let's go.
All right, we go after Jenny.
So you guys all walk back to the campfire, and you do notice that the campfire has been put out. You're pretty certain that the camp counselors don't keep it going all night. That would just be a fire hazard. But there is nobody around, and there are no lights in that area. The only thing that comes is some like small embers. Not anything that would be concerning, but it's like one of those, the dying light of a campfire and your flashlight. And you go back to the camp to the circle that you guys were sitting in, and you scan around, and as you do notice something shadowy, and everybody sees it now dart in the opposite direction of where you were scanning your light.
Crystal, if there's some burning embers
Yeah.
still left kind of in the remains of this fire,
Yeah.
Lex is going to go grab a stick near the circle, and he's going to try and like kind of blow on the embers and get the embers warm enough to make a makeshift torch.
Yeah, you could absolutely do that. It's going to take a little bit.
Okay.
And
Do I need to roll anything for that?
I'm going to have you roll survival. It's going to
Okay.
be a challenge rating of 2.
Okay. I have 3 survival against 2 challenge. And you said 5s and 6s are successes? Or
4s,
just
5s, and
6s?
6s.
4s, 5s, and 6s. Okay, well, cool. I have 2 successes then. I have 1
Okay.
negated, so. 2
Okay,
successes.
you absolutely can get it started, but you do notice that it might burn pretty quickly closer to your hand. It isn't super long. That bonfire was pretty big.
Yeah.
But you do have a little bit of a torch.
You guys see that? I saw Jenny go that way.
Jenny! Hey!
That's
Hey, Jenny!
Jenny.
Well, what else is it going to be? Tall coyote?
It
Hold on,
could
I'm
easily
just gonna-
be a walking coyote. It could easily be a Bigfoot. It could be a forest imp. There's all sorts of things that it could be.
And from just a setting perspective, Crystal, like we all know about monsters.
So whether you admit to each other or not that you know about monsters is up to you. But
All right.
yes, you guys have some concept of monsters. Some of you may not be as worldly, I'm going to put it that way, as to how many monsters are actually out there.
I mean,
Hold on. I'm going to go
you
over.
guys, it could be a shadow. It could be a werewolf. It could be anything, right?
Just-
It could be
just-
nothing.
Easily been a werewolf.
It could be nothing.
Shine the light over there, and I'll prove it to you. Let's walk over. I want to see what it. Whatever it is, it's going to leave tracks. Let's go see.
Hey, Bill, don't be a hero.
Do I look like I'm trying to be a hero here? if anything, I want to get back to the cabin because this is going to be just a supreme waste of time. And like I said, Aisha, look, if you got it over on me, cool. Congratulations.
It's not a joke, William.
Whoa.
Bring it out the full name.
Whoa.
Here,
Nobody
look,
calls me
right
William
there.
but my stepmom. And I don't like that.
Well, I'm sorry, but if you're doubting what I'm saying, then obviously you need to be brought back into line.
And if anybody's going to bring anybody back in line, it's going to be me. Okay, let's go look again. Bill's right. Let's go look. Let's go see what this is. Walking away from it isn't getting us any closer to Jenny or getting us to sleep. Okay.
Just, seriously, let me take a look. Just shine a light over there. Let me take a look. I'll be able to tell what it was.
I
Just
am
quit-
shining the light over there.
Okay,
Quit
cool.
goofing
I'm going to walk
around.
over here then.
You want me to shine the light more onto there? Look, wiggle, 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 wiggle.
No, don't do
shining
that.
the light
Don't do
more.
that. Seriously, hold the dang thing steady. Can't believe I said dang. I'm so sorry. That was bad. I'm sorry.
Look. Everyone relax. Everybody start acting right, or I'm just going to leave you, the three of you here.
I've been fun.
Billy, I'm sorry. Sorry I called you William.
I'll turn this group around. We'll go right back to the cabins, and Jenny can sleep out here.
I need to go back to the cabins anyway.
What was
Okay.
that?
Nothing.
She said she doesn't want to go back to the cabins anyway.
I did want to go back to the cabins anyway, and for some reason we're all sitting out here.
Danny,
Oh.
we're looking for Jenny. I thought that was pretty clear.
I walk over to see if I can find some tracks for whatever that
I
was
thought
that
you
moved.
liked being out in the woods anyway.
Not if there's a mysterious friend.
Well, it's
Okay.
Jenny. She's just always the one always hugging the stuffy. You know, her braces are out crooked. That Jenny.
I didn't see Jenny.
But we
So
don't know if it's a friend or not. Let's see what it is before we make any decisions, right?
I mean, she's kind of mean sometimes, but I wouldn't call her not a friend.
So, Billy, you walk over to the edge of the camp circle. And I'm assuming you were just kind of looking around within the light. All right, as you do notice something about 3 feet into like the forest area, just laying on the ground. It looks square-ish. In the light, it's kind of hard to see exactly, but it definitely sticks out.
Okay, I'm not seeing tracks, but there's something over here. Check this out. And I'm gonna walk out towards it.
As you do, you notice a very familiar book to you. And it is a book that you and your friends used to keep at home that is very similar to your monster hunting guide. Something that all kids keep, all monster hunters keep. And it has all 4 of your names on the front of it.
What?
What is it?
What'd you find? Bill, what'd you find?
You're gonna want to see this. I don't want to touch it.
Aisha walks over immediately. What?
You
Whoa.
guys all see the book. If you look, you see the book.
All right, that's weird.
So, world question. All kids
Yeah.
have this sort of guide. Do we have our guides, and is this a new one?
So all monster hunters have guides. Not all kids are monster hunters, but yes, yeah, that thought process, yes. All monster hunters will have a guide. Whether you brought your guide or not is going to be up to you. Most kids do keep it on them though, because it's super helpful, and sometimes those guides are passed down from parent to child,
Do
whether
all- I
they
was-
know it or not.
I was gonna ask, do all the guides look the same, or are
Nope.
they okay?
All the guides are personalized to each
Someone's
of the monster
might be like
hunters.
a lined notebook, or somebody else's might be like a leather-bound journal, or
Yes. Yep.
But this one has all of our names on it, right?
It has all of your names on it, and whether you monster hunted it together or not previously, you guys have not really kept a journal because you're really only together during summer camp.
It's a guide, but it's not my guide.
It's got our names on it, and I didn't know Billy's middle name was John.
Shut up. Okay.
Hey, at least I didn't read the William part of it. I called you Billy. Be nice.
Lex reaches into his back pocket and pulls out like a spiral bound. It's a little spiral bound like flip notebook that's clearly old and like kind of beat up. I've got mine. That's not mine.
Aisha reaches into her pack and pulls out a trapper keeper, like an old school trapper keeper, that opens with a Velcro, and it's full of like schematics and everything, and it's got her name on the front of it. I got mine.
What is the? I gotta ask. What is the image on the trapper keeper? Like, what is the trapper keeper? Is it like like the unicorn or the rainbow one or like a race car?
It's a space shuttle launching.
Right. Cool.
Danny pulls out a worn, very soft leather book with yellowed pages that says Lynn Family Guide on it.
Like hand-bound, like it's
hand-bound,
handmade.
very old-looking book.
And Billy pulls out his sheepishly. It is a old Lisa Frank binder. And it has his mom's name scrawled on the front of it.
Aww.
That's the name that's what I was gonna ask Kaylee if it was a Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper.
Yeah. I don't want to hear anything about it. It was my mom's, okay?
It's adorable.
Okay, so we all have ours, and that's there. Billy, did you open it?
I know.
Should
don't
we open it?
It kind of freaks me out a little.
Lex will kind of step forward and look at the kids and then kind of like sigh and bend down to pick up the book.
Okay.
Aisha's gonna shine the light right on it.
You pick up the book and nothing happens. When you pick up the book, it does feel like it's leather bound.
Hold on. So Lex grabs the book and knowing that nothing happens, Lex grabs it and then like thrusts his hand up in the air and like starts shaking.
We back away.
Okay.
Okay. Lex, put it down. Let it drop.
Hey.
Danny starts
It's
poking
fine.
him with a stick.
It's fine. Ow, stop. Ow, it's fine. I was kidding. It's fine.
You're not possessed, are you?
It's fine. I was kidding.
Lex, I thought of any of us, you would be mature enough to know that this is not the time.
I thought it was kind of cool.
You're right. I'm sorry. I should know better. Bad, Lex. Bad. Okay, let's look. Lex, like, leans into the light, kind of opens the book a little bit. Opens to the front page.
Yeah. So when you open to the front page, you notice that it's written in some sort of language that you have never seen before.
Anyone speak this?
No. Is it written in like language-wise? Is it written like in a like the Romanji, or is it like a Cyrillic, or like a different? Is it just symbols, or does it look like words?
It looks like word soup, word salad.
Okay.
So it looks like some of them are fragments of words or fragments of phonemes. And then there are also symbols mixed in there. It looks extremely alien to you.
Like almost confounding to like just look at it to try to comprehend.
Yes.
Like there's something on this page and my brain is having a real hard time.
Yes.
Got it. This is giving me a headache, you guys.
Could it be written in code?
It looks like something my little brother once did, but that was after he put my dictionary in the blender and then tried sticking all the pieces back together again.
Your
Do
brother's
any of
not
you
very
flip
bright.
through it further?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do notice that there are illustrations in there very similar to what you guys have for your illustrations, whether it's magazine clippings or, you destroyed an Encyclopedia Britannica trying to figure out how this monster looks when you saw it. And you can see the illustrations. And you flip through, and Everything is still in that weird code for the writing, but the illustrations are very clear. And the very last page, you see a illustration of the camp. Except for it's not the illustration of the camp. It's pieces of the camp are where they're kind of suspended, floating, upside down, destroyed. And the year is the year that you are here.
Okay,
This-
up until that
this
last
seems bad.
page, I was like, oh, this reminds me of Corpse Destroyer's self-titled album liner, but this is not normal.
Are you supposed to be listening to that? It's got a like older person's rating on it.
Jeez, even my friends don't listen to that, Bill. It's garbage.
I like it, okay? It calms me
All
down.
right, all right, all right.
It's fine, I guess. Why would you listen to all that screaming? I don't know. But that's not what the camp looks like.
No, it isn't. I got a really bad feeling about this.
I mean, maybe it's just some crazy person's idea of a joke.
Can I make a knowledge check? Being the older kid, I've probably come to the camp a few more years than the rest of the kids. Have I ever heard of anything like this in the stories told about the camp year after year?
Yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Okay.
It's going to be a challenge rating of 3.
Oh,
So it's going to be a little bit more difficult because you're trying to go access your childhood memories mixed in with some of the monster hunting stuff that you know.
big bucks, no whammies. Yeah, I have one challenge success. So
Okay, so all you need is 1 success to get information.
well,
Everything
but
else is...
it's a black success. It's
Oh,
not a
okay.
white
So
success.
okay. So you can spend a fortune to re-roll if you would like.
I will.
Okay.
Lex is gonna re-roll. Boom. Fortune point spent. That is a little better. That's much better. That gives me 1 success on the white side.
Okay, cool. So you know, as someone who has been monster hunting for probably quite some time, that liminal spaces exist. And that sometimes they play with your senses. And one of them is very similar to the illustration that you saw, but you can't quite place what monster it belongs to. Only that there are liminal spaces. You can get to them as a monster hunter. You can accidentally fall into them. And you can also close them up if you know where the location is.
So, focusing on that last picture, Lex will kind of explain. I'm not going to re-explain it because Crystal did such a wonderful job, but Lex will do his best to explain that to the rest of the group.
Yeah.
Just in case you guys haven't had to deal with that yet. It's something that's happened before. There may be a space that we can get to. Clearly this illustration makes it seem like it's in or around the camp. And we might be able to close it if we can figure out where it is.
Is it like, I mean, is that what's going to happen if we don't close it?
Maybe
Like a warning?
Maybe it might be tied to one of the creatures in this book.
What if that shadow thing came from it?
What if
It-
that
it might
story
have.
is like, the campfire story? What if that's like kind of true?
Kid
I
walks
hate
off
that
alone in the
story.
woods and
I
falls into a
hate that
space.
story. That-
Oh my
that-
God, what if I didn't actually see Jenny? Maybe I saw the story person.
I mean, that's possible. I hope not. I hate ghosts. But
Well, in theory, they wouldn't be a ghost. They would have been a child that fell through a liminal space and was trapped in a dimensional. Heck.
a dimensional what?
Heck.
HE double hockey sticks.
Danny. We don't talk like that.
Well, it felt relevant to the conversation.
I mean, all right. I'm not your mom. But, so, I mean, I don't know why this book is here. I don't know why it has our names on it, but clearly we're supposed to find it. Maybe Shadow Jenny was leading us to the book.
Well, maybe we fix it. Maybe we write this book.
Why would we write it all like upside down like that?
So that we now can fix it now, but us previously couldn't write and then have it happen and then... Aren't you the quantum mechanics person?
Well, I mean, I have a book on it. I don't understand it very well yet. But if we would have written it before, we would know that now. So we would have to write it after, so we could not know about it now. But we would write it in a language that we would now be able to understand. So future us would.
Hold on, Aisha, hold on. Why don't let's not talk about it here in the dark by the campfire. We take it back to the cabin. We can look at it at the cabins. We can maybe check it out a little more there, and start there. Because I mean, if this is happening at the camp or around the camp, it makes sense that we would go back to the camp, right?
We can also check that Jenny made it back, just in case.
Okay, that's a good idea, but we definitely cannot go into the boys' cabin. That's nasty.
No, the boys' cabin is gross. You don't want to go in the boys' cabin. It smells.
I do not want to go in there. It
And
smells.
when Lex says it smells, Lex looks directly at Billy.
It smells worse than Billy did before he got hosed.
Whatever. Seriously.
It was a compliment. I said it smelled worse than you.
Look, just hope we run into something that I can punch, because right now you're all starting to look pretty good.
Hey, no, I'm just saying, Billy,
Thank you. I dress.
as the senior person here, you know, Billy, you're way past the age where you should be showering on the regular, man. I mean, you know, and just saying.
Danny is flipping through the book now. She's bored of this conversation.
Let's just
All right,
walk. Let's
go
go
back. Let's go back.
Let's go.
All right. So you walk back to the cabin, and you don't see or hear anything else. You hear the normal night sounds. And at this point, you can tell that there isn't much moon left within its cycle. And that within a day or two is probably going to be a new moon, which means really, really dark out. As you get back to the cabins, you check in on Jenny, and she's sleeping soundly in her bed.
He must have doubled back.
Or it wasn't Jenny, Aisha.
Jenny is safe. Let's figure out the rest of this.
Well, what was it? Was it a chupacabra that led us through the woods to the book?
I mean, you
it
said it
could
was
have been.
it was a shadow, right? Nobody saw what it was.
It was like a white shape, and Jenny was wearing white tonight. Which is silly because it'll get dirty and covered in soot in the fire. I told her you wear earth tones. They clean better.
Just
Yeah, but
it
boring.
doesn't matter what Jenny was or wasn't wearing, because Jenny wasn't the thing you saw.
If you're an earth tone in the woods, you're gonna get shot by a hunter. Just saying.
Why would a
That's-
hunter shoot at the earth?
That's real dark, Danny.
Well, I'm sorry. I grew up when you had to be smart about people in the fall, just in case. And you got the bright orange and the bright green, and that's how they know you're not a deer.
Well, the fire would know she was not a deer too,
Yeah, no, that's
because
true.
fire can't shoot guns.
Okay. Let's. Clothing doesn't matter right now. Let's look at the book.
How dare you?
No, I'm just saying. Right now, we're talking about something that happened. It's not relevant to what we got to deal with right now. Right now, we have a weird book with some pictures of monsters and a camp that's turned upside down. That looks like it might be our camp. Let's figure that out, huh?
Okay, yeah.
Let's put our brains to use on that instead of talking about fall fashion.
Okay. As you guys are sitting here talking, and I'm assuming it's outside of the doors of the cabin, you do see that there is a night check coming around. And you hear them off in the distance. You have some time right now to be able to do what you need to. But they are coming pretty quickly.
So is
Alright,
this
so-
a hide and wait for them to pass situation, or a
Whatever you choose to do.
Well, do they do bed checks, or are they just checking to make sure like nobody's outside?
So you're fairly certain that they don't do bed checks, that they most likely just make sure that nobody's outside.
Okay.
Like the counselor walks up to the door, opens the door, makes sure all the kids are in the cabin, and then there's just like,
Yep.
They're coming. Do we want to like hide and then come back out when they're gone?
all right, Aisha, Danny, go back to your cabin. Wait for the check to finish. Come back out here. We'll meet here between the cabins, okay?
Okay.
Just keep your voices down. Everybody be quiet. Everyone has snuck out of a cab. Well, maybe not you, Danny, but everyone has snuck out before. But this is not a big deal. We can do this.
just as I haven't had to?
I mean,
Well,
at space camp, we did it all the time. We went to the simulators at midnight. It was kind of awesome.
We'll talk about that later.
Dude,
Go
that
back.
does sound cool.
Get settled. Space camp sounds cool. Everybody let's go back to our cabins. We'll be back out here as soon as checks are over. Okay?
Okay, got it.
Get some
do it.
batteries for your flashlight if you can.
All right, 1, 2, 3, break. You guys didn't walk away.
Okay, I'm walking now.
Okay,
All right.
go back inside.
All right, so you guys go back inside. Everybody goes to their beds. Is anyone doing anything that might cause noise, or are you just laying in bed hoping for the best?
Probably laying in bed.
You're laying in bed. Okay, I think Lex is gonna see. I'd like to spend a fortune point.
Yeah.
To see if there is if another kid brought a flashlight.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So with you spending a fortune, it automatically happens. You find someone's flashlight,
Okay.
and because it's
Yeah.
a fortune, it's like one of those mag lights.
Okay, maybe Lex, being an older kid, brought it himself. Like he's familiar.
Yeah.
Like this is not his first rodeo, so to speak. So
Yeah.
Lex will go get under his he'll pull out his duffel bag and go through it. And he pulls out a flashlight, and he pulls out an extra set of batteries, and kind of throws it in a little pack a little sling pack that goes over his back.
Yep.
And then he lays on his side in bed, so you can't see the pack. He's got the backpack on, but he's got the cover pulled up, and
Yeah. Yep. You can easily do that.
okay, that is another fortune. I have one fortune left for everybody. So.
You
And
start
do
failing
you
some
gain
rolls.
those through play, or are they just something that
You can-
refreshes?
So you can gain them through play. You can gain them for things like choosing to fail. You can do things for thinking way outside the box and collaborating, and surprising me as a GM, because I love that stuff. And you can also do it for doing something that goes either super into your archetype or super against your archetype.
Thank you, Crystal.
Yep. Okay, so you all kind of fake it till you bake it. Bed check comes around. You see the light kind of shine into the cabin. Then you hear the door click. You hear.
Out of curiosity,
Yeah.
is it a pair of counselors that's coming around to do the check?
So it's usually a pair of counselors that come around to do the check. One checks inside, one walks around outside, and then moves to the next door.
Maybe the pair of counselors is because every camp counselors there is a couple, right?
Oh, yeah.
One
Absolutely.
there's a couple counselor group, and it's them, and I think maybe Lex has a little crush on the older, the older counselor.
Absolutely, that's totally. Yep. That's
dreamy.
totally a thing. Yep, yeah. You're like, ah. She looked at me. He looked at me.
Maybe Lex has a crush on them.
They looked at me. Yep.
They looked
And
in.
looked
They looked at me.
They looked
They,
at me.
they shined
Either
the
way, you're-
light right on you. It was on there for a good second and a half.
Yep.
Wonder what that means.
Lex has dreams of his first throuple.
We're kids. Let's.
No, there's nothing bad about that. I mean,
I mean, if he finds 6 more, he has a baseball team.
True.
Too
So-
old for basketball, so.
Yeah, whoever it is, they make your heart flutter just a little bit.
Exactly.
All right. Anyone else doing anything else while you guys are ducking into the cabin, hiding out?
I can't think of any interesting trouble to get Danny into unless she's like trying to befriend a salamander, which I'm sure she's gotten,
I'm
knocked on
fairly
before.
certain she has one in her pocket.
At least a frog.
I gather up my firecrackers, and I would actually like to spend a fortune so that I could have a slingshot, if possible.
Yep, you can absolutely do that.
That feels really fitting.
Your slingshot is going to have a weapon rating of 1. So a WR of 1.
For Aisha, when she gets into the cabin, she immediately goes to her place, puts her pack away very carefully, doesn't get undressed, oddly enough, or takes her shoes off because she's in bed now, and has the blanket pulled up to her chin, almost mummified underneath there, and she's making very obviously bad snoring noises, because she's really bad at defying authority.
Okay. I am going to have you, let's see here. I'm going to have you make a charm roll.
Ooh, okay.
And it's gonna be a challenge rating of 1.
Okay.
And it's just to see if there's anything humorous that comes out of this.
Perfectly fair. I have a charm of 1, and the difficulty is 1.
Yep.
And I came up with a nothing, a big
Nothing.
0, 2 and a 2.
So, even though it is comically very obvious that you're awake, the counselor kind of lingers just a little bit to make you uncomfortable, and where you kind of try to flutter your eyes, but kids are never good at fluttering their eyes, and they can totally tell, and the counselor's just like, oh, they're probably just staring in their sleep, and that's weird, and then walks away.
Is it one of those
After that held, it's
Aisha, my frog makes better sounds.
shut up.
Who knew we had ASMR during this?
I'm not good at this part. Do you have a juice box?
Yeah, I have a juice box.
Share?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, that's super adorable, especially because you're both drinking Capri Suns. All right,
Almost like it was planned.
that was dumb cute. That was just too much.
Kid
Too
drinks
much,
for
too much
kid game.
Too much you do.
I love it so much.
Juice
Okay.
box break.
Okay, so bed checks come around. Everybody passes with what they're doing, they're trying to do, and you guys are able to meet back outside the cabin.
Okay, so what do we do about upside down camp buildings that aren't upside down yet?
Danny, do you need me to let that shirt out? You keep fidgeting.
Look, it's my favorite. Okay, I'm not.
I mean,
No.
I could just take the hem out a little bit. It would no problem at all.
It's not.
Now is not the time for sewing, Aisha. We have other stuff to do.
But she looks uncomfortable.
Well, that's her choice.
She's trying to help.
It's her favorite shirt.
Where's Billy?
I'm
Don't smell
here.
Billy's coming. He's
Oh.
getting some pebbles for his slingshot.
Nah, pebbles, come on. It's what the fireworks are for.
Oh,
You have fireworks?
Did you bring M80s?
Maybe.
Okay, those are kind of cool.
Just be super careful, okay? We can't start a fire.
And don't blow your fingers off. I only have 1 med kit.
so
Okay.
You guys hear that cat?
this is
course, if I did blow my fingers off,
There's-
they'd have plenty for the beanie weenies.
Oh, that's gross. Stop
You know,
it.
you're
You
joking,
didn't think
but
it didn't jump in your mind that hey, these are a lot like Knuckles
That's-
while you were
no,
eating
you're-
tonight?
No, ew.
no, you're joking. But that's one of the stories that one of the old cooks lost like a pinky finger in the beanie weenies one year.
Can we get back
That
to the
happened.
mysterious book that has all of our names on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like if that happened, it would still be floating around here. Somebody would have eaten it or it would have gone bad and nobody would be eating it now. Come on. Gosh. Who has the book? Danny, do you have it?
I think, yeah, Danny has the book.
All right, we got to figure out what this language is and why everything's all kittywampus.
Okay. So you open the book and you start paging through it, and one of the first illustrations that you see is of the lake.
Okay, so maybe something happens at the lake.
Maybe this
Stuff-
is like, maybe it's like a
Stuff happens
treasure.
at the lake all the time.
Maybe it's like a treasure map where we have to go to the lake and do something is there, and that's going to lead us to the next clue, which will have something to do with the next illustration.
What, could we just skip to the next illustration then?
But what if we need a clue that's at the lake?
What is the next illustration?
The next illustration is of a section in the woods, and I'm going to have you make either a knowledge or survival check to determine exactly where that is. It's going to be a challenge rating of 3 because the woods often look very similar no matter where you look. So there are landmarkers on there, but you have to kind of place them as to where they are.
So if I critically, like 2 failures, do I think that it reminds me of my woods back home, obviously, or just another set of woods here that's completely wrong?
You know, I will let you choose. Either one of those would absolutely make sense for critical failure.
Okay.
So
Now,
I netted a 0. I got 2 successes and 2 fails.
I do. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have jumped in there. I was going to ask though. I have survival 2, and then I have tracker 2. Would that at all apply in this?
yes, you could have used that because you, with tracking, you do have to use landmarks often. So you would be familiar with using those.
All right.
I know where this is, guys. It's that section of woods right behind the head counselor's cabin. You know where the head counselor sometimes to go and smoke.
I netted 1.
You netted 1. Okay. You netted enough to know that that is absolutely wrong.
No.
And you can't quite place it. Like, you're like, I know I've been there, but you have been coming to camp for so long that there are many places in this whole woods that you have to kind of think back, and you're like, I need a little more context in order for me to be able to place this. But you know that it's here.
Look, the trees are right. And I think, at least for like a lot of the ground cover, it's like around this time of year. So I'm pretty sure it's this forest.
I have 2 net successes.
Okay.
So,
So-
can I build on what Billy was saying there?
Absolutely. You know, it's one of the trailheads where it's the one where you hike all day and then you stay overnight up at and then hike back. They usually only do it for the older kids. The younger kids generally don't do that until they get to be a little more self-sufficient, and the counselors can trust that they don't wander off into the woods. So that's more of like an older kid hike night.
Yeah. So you're right, Billy. That is around here. That looks like that's the Sunrise Trailhead. It's where they take us to do the sleepover.
Okay, I think I
sleepover.
kind of see what you're saying. It might be.
They said we couldn't go to that this year.
Well, no,
Billy,
'cause
you
you're too
probably
young.
snuck onto it.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, you'll
Hey.
get to go. You'll get to go when you're older. But
I mean, that's ageist.
Well, I think we're going tonight.
That's
yeah,
really
we're
cool. I
definitely
have
headed
been
up
wanting
there
to go on
tonight.
that one.
But I think Aisha and Danny are right. We should probably go to the lake first, just in case there's something there we were supposed to find.
Well, it might
Well-
give us more context as to what's going on at that trailhead site.
Well, and if you mentioned it might be a cipher. Maybe there's a clue to the cipher there. What do you think, Billy?
Well, first, I think that if we're going to be away from the cabins for a while, you need to go put your bedroll under your sheets in your cot. You should each have. Y'all brought a sleeping bag, right?
Yeah.
Go wad it up lengthways and stick it under your covers.
Okay.
So that way it looks like
Also-
you're still in it.
Also, everybody, just
Ah.
I know we're going out in the woods, so do your onesies and twosies before we get out of here.
Okay. Danny has her orders. Make bed look like I am sleeping there and go to the potty.
Right. We'll meet back here in like 10 minutes.
Wow, you
15
girls
if you have
take
the
a long
twosies.
time. And I just walk in.
Well, it's because we wipe, Billy.
That's gross. Stop it.
You don't
Danny's
wipe?
already hustling.
No. You're that's just gross. Come on.
Everybody poops. I've got a book that tells all about it.
Hey,
I read it
quiet
when I was
down.
like 3.
Aisha.
What?
Zip it. Less talky, more stuffy of the bedroll.
E.
E.
More of the make it look like you're there, but you're not.
Fine. All right, I'll go create a simulacrum of my being. Ugh. She
Such a
stomps
12-year-old world.
Stomps away.
Jeez.
Okay.
One more year of this.
So everyone does what they need to. I'm not gonna make you roll for the bed rolls. You can make them as awful or as intricate as you would like. It's getting to the middle of the camp slog, so some of the counselors are like, I don't care right now. But
Aisha's
Sorry, I'm watching Aaron fidget with the shirt, and it is cracking me up.
I'm sorry. For anyone who's not privy, this is an actual kid shirt that I didn't know before I purchased it, so it is kind of small and uncomfortable.
I mean, I couldn't fit a kid's shirt over my left arm, so I'm impressed that you're wearing it.
Technically, I couldn't either.
I love this so much.
I will say that for my bedroll, I have one of those plasticky kids clown masks for my Halloween costume, and I'm gonna put
Nice.
that on the top of it so that if they pull back the covers to see who's under there, they're gonna figure it out. At least this way, I can have some fun too.
All right. Legit.
Aisha's not that clever, but she does the whole bed, make it look like it. But she draws a sketch of her face on a piece of construction paper and puts it over where her face would be. And it's pretty good, but it's very obvious that it's not her.
You don't
It's
say.
on like blue construction paper or something.
100%. Blue
Danny-
construction paper, indeed.
Has convinced the stray cat to curl up in her bed, so it even moves occasionally.
Nice.
Lex has done this enough times, so he makes one big lump for the chest and then one smaller lump for the hips and legs.
All right.
Crystal, just a quick
yeah.
thing. We're normally gonna take our break in about 10 minutes. Do we want to do it here since it seems to be kind of a natural stopping point?
We can do
Yes,
that.
I would be totally fine with that because the next thing coming up might take a little bit more than 10 minutes. So.
Sound good.
All right, everyone. Well, we will be back in 10 minutes. We look forward to seeing you. Don't go away. And hello, everyone. We are back. Hopefully, that wasn't too long for everyone, but long enough that we could all take a break together. So, Crystal, right back to you.
All right. So, to recap just slightly for those who may have missed it or are just joining us after our break, our group of monster hunters are in a campground for the summer at summer camp, and they discovered a book with all of their names on it. But the writing in the book is unreadable to them. There are images within the book. They have placed 2 of the images. They are going to go explore the first one. And that is where we are at. The first image that you see is of the lake. The lake is a very popular spot in the summer, specifically because it is cool and one of the only sources of places to cool down in the hot summer heat. And so during the day, many of the campers go swimming there and spend the day. However, you guys are going at night. And there is nobody. And there is very little moonlight. However, 2 of you now have flashlights that you have taken with you and replacement batteries. Because in our first adventure, your flashlight was flickering and you're not quite sure where it was coming from. So, as you all make your way to the lake, I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You can see there is very little moonlight, and so you can see the what little light is there does glint a little bit off the lake. And you are up on a hill slightly and then go down to the lake. And on that hill, as you're looking over, at the top of the hill, you can kind of hear the night sounds. They're very familiar: crickets, some owls, some night birds, which are technically actually bats that you can hear flickering around, but everyone thinks that they're night larks and stuff like that. And as you cross over that hill and slightly down, the noises stop. And for Danny, that's very jarring because those noises are comfort for her. And she may even be the only one that notices it.
I think we notice it because Danny stops telling us about it, about the different animals.
That's actually a bat, but
Danny, where are you? Danny? Oh, there. Okay, why did you stop?
because everything else stopped.
No, we kept walking. Look, the boys are like 10 feet ahead of us.
No, Danny's right. Everything got real quiet. Listen.
Oh.
Talk less, listen more. Life lesson.
She sticks her tongue out at you.
Usually animals get really quiet when there's a predator around.
Could it be because we're here?
I mean, sometimes, but
Or
a
because
lot
Billy
of
smells like Axe?
well, they could be reacting to the pheromones that are in Axe. That is notable in some scientific journals, but I don't think that that's the case at the moment. It's not quiet like this.
Well, if there's danger, we are very, very obvious right now. Should we turn the lights off?
Is there enough moonlight to see by if we turn the flashlights off?
You could probably get used to it, and you might be able to see stuff. It's going to be difficult though. So there's like pros and cons to it.
As the oldest kid, Lex is going to suggest, look, we're going to be walking down by the lake. We don't need anybody falling in or drowning. Let's leave. We need the flashlights.
Okay, yeah, there's no lifeguards on duty.
So have we gotten to a spot where we're kind of like seeing the image of the lake, or are we still
Yep.
proceeding there? Okay, so we're at the
We're like
scene.
at a hilltop, like above the lake.
Yep.
All right.
Well,
And there is like a point that like you cross over and the sounds stop. If you cross back over, the sounds start up again.
Ooh,
It's almost like a bubble.
That's not normal.
No, it is
That's
not normal.
There is a moment of Danny goes in the bubble, goes out of the bubble, goes in the bubble, goes out of the bubble. Guys, there's a bubble.
Wait, Danny. Okay, hold still. Can you put it so your left ear hears thing and your right ear can't?
Can I?
Yeah, you can. And it makes your brain go brrr.
Yeah, it makes my brain go brrr.
Oh my god, I gotta try this. And Aisha rushes back and does the same thing. It's like, this is wrinkling my brain.
So
Could this be one of those liminal space thingies?
Yeah, the lemon halls. Whatever.
Yeah, the lemon halls.
Oh my god, Billy. Luminal.
Luminal?
Luminal. Lemon Hall is where we eat breakfast.
Okay, whatever. I'm just whatever. He kind of takes a few steps forward.
Yeah, we also and rolling his eyes, Lex also steps into that space.
Okay. So you step into space and really nothing more than the sound changes. You don't feel anything. Some of the Lex and Billy, you are old enough to have been in some liminal spaces. Some of them you can feel a difference. This one doesn't really feel like anything different than normal, other than the sound just being weird.
Can I take my walking stick and like whack it really hard against a tree?
Yeah.
I'm trying to create sound. Does that happen?
Yep. Yes, it actually does happen. It's just the animals.
Danny, okay, I'm gonna stand here. Like, can you crouch down and listen down by my knees and see if it's the same thing?
Okay.
I'm wondering if it's altitude based. Like, is there a top to this?
All right. So she'll get down. She'll kind of crouch down to see if she can hear animals closer to the ground level.
No, it's the same thing.
Okay.
No.
What if I pick you up and like carry, like
No,
put
no,
you on
no.
my back, on my shoulders?
I think it's like a snow globe.
Yeah, I
Right.
think we've entered a space where the animals are here. They're just quiet.
Are
She
they
hit that
here?
tree. Did any animals come out of it?
Nope.
There's
Right.
no animals in this bubble.
That's what I was going for. Are there animals or are they no animal sounds?
There should have at least been animals coming out of that tree with how hard I hit it. I hit it really hard.
What happens if you get an animal and bring it in? You have a frog in your pocket, don't you? Mr. Ribbits, you told me about him.
Don't talk about Mr. Ribbits.
Is Mr. Ribbit still in your pocket when you're in here?
Is Mr.
does-
Ribbit still in my pocket?
No.
No!
Okay.
Okay, now go back outside the bubble. Is Mr. Ribbits
hold
there?
on. Hey, I think we've established that either there's no animals here or they're just being quiet. So that's the only really odd thing about this space so far. Let's get closer to the lake. Let's stay on task, everybody. We're getting distracted.
Danny will put a pin on where is Mr. Ribbits to try and figure out the rest of this.
Yep.
Danny, let's
Okay.
help you find Mr. Ribbits later.
Okay,
I wanna
so
know.
Mr. Ribbits probably went back to Mrs. Ribbits.
okay. So you guys
Don't be stupid. Frogs don't have a marriage thing like humans do.
Danny starts with a well technically and gets into a diatribe and is like walking to wherever it is we're going.
While the diatribe happens, Lex slips a small Walkman out of his backpack and puts one headphone on over.
The big orange fuzzy cups.
Yeah, oh, no, it's definitely not the cups. It's just the big fuzzy orange, the big
Okay.
foam orange piece.
Like on
A
ear.
wire headset over one ear,
Yeah. Okay. So you walk closer to the lake. You walk down the hill, and you get to where the picnic-ish area is. It's where everyone sets up all of their stuff to be able to sit while they're not swimming or to eat lunch or whatever the case may be if they go and bring one of the lunches down and or hang out and talk. And as you're shining the light around, you do notice that the lake, the edge, normally it laps with waves. The lake is perfectly still, and you can see that there's like these bubbles kind of floating at the edge of the lake. And as you watch two of them kind of bump into each other, shimmer, and then create a bigger bubble.
Danny wants to poke it with her stick.
Let's see here.
We have a redemption. We have a redemption
Billy-
for a reroll for Mr.
Billy-
Ribbits.
Absolutely knows what these are. He has faced them before.
Oh.
I don't think Danny has any idea what these are.
No, probably not, but Billy absolutely does.
Oh God.
Yep. Danny is just strutting right up, trying to go and figure out what's
Yep.
this new thing.
I reach out to try and grab her by the shoulder to pull her back.
Okay.
Look,
What's going on? What is that?
those are blobs. They're blobs.
Or what?
They're blobs.
Blobs.
Yeah, they're like blobby, bubbly sort of a things, and I want to know what they are.
Don't want to get near them.
Why?
Like seriously, have you ever seen Night of the Blood Beast marries the wife of the swamp thing? I mean, come on. It's like
No.
straight from
There's-
that.
I mean, there's also the blob.
I never saw that one. My parents were
I
like,
can't. I haven't seen any of those.
We don't watch TV.
So
seriously, is that like one of those CW shows?
No, the blob. There was forget it. Forget
Danny
it.
is
forget it.
wandering back to the edge of that
Oh my
lake.
God.
Danny,
So-
stop.
So Billy, you have seen these in action. They consume, they grow bigger, and then they combine. And as they combine, they grow in power. And you can see that the entire lake shore that you are standing at has all of these little bubbles around. So they are consuming and growing in power as you are looking at it.
Okay, let me put it this way to you. If you don't have this in your guide already, those are monsters. And they like to eat. And then they join together and they eat more. And eventually, well, guess what? They get more powerful and they come after you.
What, they join together like a Megazord or something?
No, like they become one and they get bigger. All they do is eat. All they do is like, yeah.
Well, how do you fight them?
Yeah.
Last time I saw them, I kind of ran.
You just ran away?
That doesn't seem like a good fighting idea. It seems
Well, it's better than getting eaten.
Yeah.
Fair.
You can't fight everything. Some things you have to run away from.
I'm gonna look in my Monster Hunter's guide. Is there anything about blobs on there?
So your monster hunting guide is it passed through family?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you this is just gonna be a random roll. Just roll 1d6 and then tell me what your number is.
3.
3? Okay. Nothing about blobs
I was
that
gonna
is
say-
in there.
Is that and the monsters? Is that what basically is contained in our particular guide? Those listed monsters there?
It might be listed as something similar to a blob. The official title is blob in the guide. However, it might be just slime in there.
Okay.
So yeah, if you have it passed down from family member, there is a chance of it being in there, and you can roll for that chance, or spend a
That-
fortune if you want it
That
to be
ring
in
is
there.
amazing, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's my fidget. It's just my coach ball.
I haven't spent any fortune yet. I'll spend a fortune just to have it in the book.
Okay. So yeah, you are aware of you can absolutely fight these, and you probably should because they consume everything in their path. They also get harder to beat as they get larger. They can be influenced by the things around them. So, for instance, if they move over soap or oil, they can actually get influenced by it and gain different powers.
So does my book say anything about how to damage it, how to hurt it?
So most of the monsters are damaged by the same thing. You just blunt force trauma, poke at it. With it's water based right now because it's in water. So however you would choose to destroy water, if you can do so, will also affect them.
Well, these aren't that scary. My great great aunt Willoughby used to just beat them with sticks.
And
But-
Billy, you're watching as you're having this conversation, and there are more blobs getting bigger. They're kind of bloop.
Doesn't that just splash
growing.
them everywhere, though?
Well, yeah, and they get smaller, and they get smaller and smaller and smaller, and then eventually they stop being big.
They might know we're here or something because they're getting bigger.
Well, we have to do something about them. They'll eat the camp.
Is there a little like a lifeguard station or a boathouse or anything like that on this little lake for the camp?
Yeah, there are. There's like a kayak stand.
Okay.
And then like a lifeguard house. Yes.
Okay. Is there a fire extinguisher on the lifeguard house?
Let's see here, because it's definitely not modern times. So, there isn't one that you can see. It might
Okay.
be inside.
All right.
You ask that question out loud if anybody sees one.
Well, yeah. Lex will look.
Okay.
We need something that something that can freeze something, right? If these things are water, and we freeze them, then that should hurt them.
Maybe.
I
Okay.
mean-
So maybe like a fire extinguisher or like something cold.
Y'all look around. I'm gonna see if I can. I don't know. And Billy
you
actually
guys-
is going to get one of his firecrackers with a slingshot and try and shoot
Okay.
one of the larger ones that's far away from them.
Yeah.
To see how it reacts.
Okay. So I'm assuming you light it or no?
I light it. Yes.
Okay.
Just
so
a firework.
So you light your firecracker, and you slingshot it. I'm gonna have you do aim.
All right. So aim and then add the weapon rating for the.
Yep.
All right.
So your weapon rating is 1 for the slingshot, and then you're just kind of firing it at the shoreline, right?
Essentially, yeah. I'm not gonna fire it out into the middle of the lake.
Okay.
But does the firecracker weapon rating add to that as well, or is it only just the slingshot?
The firecracker weapon rating is going to add to the damage that it does to any if it gets there.
All right. And what's the challenge rating to shoot this?
Challenge rating is going to be a 2. Because you got to make sure you heft that weight the proper distance.
All right. That, I believe, is a net total of 1.
And that total of 1, you get there and you are going to successfully hit a small portion of the blobs, not all of them. That shoreline is pretty big. It is a pretty big camp. And you do some damage. So with the firecracker, the weapon rating of 1 is actually 1 damage. And then it also takes another damage from the success that you have. So there's 2 damages. So 2 of the blobs kind of shiver and pop. And they kind of pop like a balloon, like a water balloon, and then they don't reform.
So with the knowledge that worked, is there like at the camp that I went to, there was a lifeguard stand, but then there was also like a boathouse where there was like all of the life preservers, first aid
Yep.
kits, things like that. Is there any way there would be flares in there?
You have a fortune point.
You have a fortune point. There are also things like oars that you can use as well. So there are improvised weaponry.
I think I'm gonna go for the fortune point and
Okay.
get flare explosions. Yes.
Oh, I could just see. I have this mental picture of Danny like running out of the boathouse like with 2 flares, like.
He just, oh, I got it! Runs in, grabs 2 flares, runs out. Ah!
Okay. I'm actually going to have you roll a d6, and that is how many flares you will be able to. Because I want to make it interesting.
That was a poor decision. I got a 6.
You got a 6? Okay, you got 6 flares.
So is there holding 2 and like there's like 4 flares like jammed into your belt?
She's holding 2. She has 1 under an armpit. She has another one in a pocket, another one in another pocket. Like it's a whole flare situation going on.
Right. So you are able to get 6 flares. What do you do with them?
She'll run back to her friends, having 2 lit because she's safe. Pass off some flares and then start running towards the blobs to start flaring blobs.
Okay. So who is all running toward the blobs, and who is doing what else?
Aisha is going to spend a fortune point to use Always Prepared again.
Yeah.
When Lex mentions something cold, Aisha's eyes light up, and you see her. She's got, like her little My Little Pony backpack, and she kind of roots around inside of it, and somehow, Lex, you don't know how, but you ever seen one of those really big, like silver CO2 fire extinguisher canisters?
Yeah.
They're like a good, like 3 feet tall, 1.5 feet wide. She pulls one of those out and it just keeps coming and coming and coming. She goes like this, and hands it to you.
Yeah, Lex's jaw literally drops.
I keep one in case of a fire
no.
in my lab, and
How? You know what? Forget it. This is perfect.
if you freeze it and then Billy does his firecracker thing, you'll get more of that. There'll be like the crystalline matrix will shatter.
No, here, Aisha, you freeze it and I'll hit it with my bat.
Okay, I mean it's a little unwieldy for somebody my size, but okay, we can try.
You want to hit it with my bat?
I can hit it with your bat.
Okay, give me the fire extinguisher. You can have my bat, and then I'll freeze it. You hit it.
There we go. That works.
So.
And Lex takes the fire extinguisher under one arm and holds the long hose out with the other.
Okay. So right now these blobs are all over the shore. There are a couple of bigger ones, and they're navigating towards each other, and some of them are starting to float out into the lake just a little bit. You are able to get some of the ones on the shore to be able to get it down pretty quickly. They're pretty small. Billy, what are you doing during this?
I am trying to get more fireworks out there, or firecrackers. I don't want to use all of them, but probably a couple more, just to.
I'm assuming, are they like the cherry bombs type of thing, or?
Yeah, I figured those. In his mind, that would fly better.
Yeah. So you probably have a whole handful of the cherry bombs. So you're gonna set off 2 or 3 more.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So here is what I'm gonna have everybody do: is you are going to make an aim or a strike. With the flares, I will have you either do aim or strike, depending on if you're going to aim the flare at it or to use the flare as a bludgeoning object. So pick one of those two.
Danny knows it's important, so she's taking time to aim.
And if you don't have the aim skill, you can't use the aim skill, correct?
No, you actually get a chance die.
Okay.
So you will always be able to roll for any of the skills, even if you don't have it on your sheets.
Nice.
Just out of curiosity, does Aisha have aim?
Yes.
Okay, because Lex does not.
Okay.
Lex has strike. I do not have aim, so I'd only be getting 1 die if we do it this way.
I also get 1 die, so either way, I'm fine with switching it up if you want. I've got a strike of 3.
I have strike of 4, and my baseball bat gives me an additional 3.
Okay, can we retcon that then? A little bit, just like, can we rewind about 10 seconds in the story here?
Actually,
To be clear, yeah, clarify if you don't mind, Crystal.
here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to allow you two to work together on this. So that means that you will actually get to, you can pick whoever, but basically when you aid someone else in the pip system, you add an extra die and the other person doesn't roll. Instead, what you do is you get all of their benefits, and you get an extra die on top of your roll. And if they have any sort of abilities that allow you to use burst dice, you get those as well.
Right.
So either way, there's going to be, you two are going to be rolling, and if someone spends a fortune, it'll benefit the pairing of working together as well.
Oh, okay.
So,
So who would you like to roll? Kaylee, would you like it to be?
If
would you like it to be
you're a
Aisha
better
or
striker.
Lex?
You're a better striker.
Okay. And am I stating that correctly, Crystal? In that my strike rating is 4, but the baseball bat, I have a specialty in baseball bat that's 3.
yes, so you
So
would
like-
add that to it.
Okay.
Yep.
And so me using the fire extinguisher, and it might, just because I need the mental image of it,
Absolutely.
I picture Aisha, like, because you want to use your bat, Aisha leaves it like stuffed a little bit in the backpack on her back, so she's just got the hose over her shoulder and she's using that. That'll give him the +1 die, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So you're going to add +1.
Jeez.
So the challenge rating is going to be a 3
Okay.
for this, because you're doing a whole bunch of little groupings. I'm assuming you're just going to go down the line.
Yeah, that's the plan. Is basically just to. I imagine like Aisha sprinting down the shoreline, spraying this thing, and then like Lex is running behind, just like slamming the baseball bat down on these groupings of blobs.
Yep.
So Danny totally whiffs it. I've got 2 black die.
Oh. Well, okay, so you can choose how you would like to fail this.
So I think what happens is Danny, in her excited fervor, goes up to the shoreline, is ready to start flaring these blobs, and trips and slides into the blobs.
Okay, so here is what's going to happen. You are going to slide into the blobs, and Billy, you've done this before. You know that she is probably in a lot of trouble right now, because she is now right where they are at. They both consume and absorb. So, Danny, you are currently covered in slime head to toe. Any action that you take for movement is going to have +1 to the challenge rating. And you are also going to be taking 1 hit of physical damage because they start to use their consumability on you. So Danny is hurt at this point, and it feels you've been stung by jellyfish before. This is not as painful, but it's very similar.
So as a question, Lex has a hindrance of Guardian.
Yeah.
And as Guardian, if another kid within close or near range is hit, the older kid reduces the pH their friend would have taken and takes that hit themselves.
Yes.
So is it possible that in the process of this, like we're doing our run and Danny's running down to the shore, slips and falls, and just so happens that like Lex is close enough to kind of like push her aside, and like the slime splashes up on him?
Yes, that is
Okay.
absolutely possible. Then you would be slime covered instead of Danny.
Yes, and Lex will take the 1 physical damage.
Yep.
Or physical hit. Okay.
So yeah, you perform your magic. Somehow, Lex is able to maneuver himself to kind of hip swing you away as you slide, and instead he ends up stepping into the slime, getting slime covered, and taking that damage.
I feel so funky.
All right.
Ooh, the ace slimed you.
So as we start into combat then, I'm going to have everybody roll initiative. So, in order to roll initiative, what you do is you take your d6,
Hmm?
you roll it, and then you add your initiative modifier to that score.
So I'm looking at 3.
3.
4.
4.
4.
Oh, okay. So, with my 4s, you will essentially be going at the same time. And because the two of you, Aisha and Lex, are working together, that actually works to your benefit because nobody has to hold their move. And then Danny will be the next one to go. So you can, as the three of you, decide who goes when, and narratively how that will look as well.
Why don't we let Billy go first, and then we can deal with the slime on you, Michael? Does that sound good?
We can, yeah, the slime, like, I think Lex would prefer that we deal with the slimes first and then deal with the slime on him. Like,
Now,
like
is
they're immediate threat.
is there a blob currently eating Lex?
Like, it's like I'm slimed, so I'm covered in this slime. It's acidic or whatever, and it's slowly burning like a point away, but
Okay, so did Danny end up in the blob and Lex just took the damage, or we just negated that whole thing?
No, Danny. So Lex stepped in
Lex's
and
magic.
pivoted Danny off away
Okay, so
from.
nobody's being eaten by a blob right now, then. Okay,
No,
Nope.
Lex is being.
Lex still is.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lex is.
that's what I
Lex
thought.
has slime on him, but Lex is going to continue to try to like hit these blobs, and while you're freezing, like as far as Lex is concerned, the plan is still on.
Okay.
Lex does teenage magic, slides Danny out of the way, and takes her place.
Right, and unfortunately for Lex, Aisha's going to then turn the fire extinguisher on him because she sees her friend in danger. So, but that's not on my turn. Billy, go.
All right. I think Billy sees what's happening, freaks out a little bit, and I want to deliver a beatdown. And I will take one hit to my MH.
Yep.
Choose an opponent, which I guess I want to actually choose like the ones closest to Lex. And I grab my backpack off my back and start just wailing on it over and over. And I bellow, "Get away from my friends!" And yeah. So that'll give me a +2 to hit with for
Yep.
strike rolls. Now these are blobs, which I have a fear to.
Yes. So that adds to the difficulty. So they are currently at a difficulty 2 with their size, and you're
Yep.
gonna add your fear to it.
All right, so I'm rolling 4 on 4.
And remember, you can use your fortune to add a dice, but you can also use your fortune to re-roll.
I think I'll hang on to it for a reroll.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh, that is one net success. I had 555 on the complication, but I got a 664 for the my other.
All right. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if you get burst dice with anything. I don't see anything.
Didn't see
Okay.
anything yet.
So you're good. You only need one success to be able to deal some damage to them. So you are able to get one of the smaller blobs, and kind of burst it and get it out of the way. And so you are absolutely helping with this situation.
Nice.
All right. So we have Lex and Aisha who are working together right now.
Aisha sees one of the slimes kind of goop all over Lex, and she just freaks out a little bit and does this does a variation on the pee-pee dance, but like it's more like a panic dance, and starts hosing the slime on Lex down with the extinguisher.
Okay, if this is a CO2 extinguisher, what does that do to me, Crystal.
Okay. So a CO2 extinguisher is going to freeze your pants because that is what the I'm assuming you're wearing pants, right? Or are you in
Yes,
shorts?
yes.
Okay.
It's nighttime. It's definitely pants now.
Yeah. Okay. So it's going to freeze your pants, and it is definitely going to shatter at some point. And you are going to take another physical hit because it is cold. And other than that, it's just annoying. Like,
So I trade the physical damage from the slime for the physical damage of the cold, correct?
yes.
Okay.
And the cold does freeze the slimes around you. They're kind of stuck to your pants leg right now because they're all slimy and all stuck together. But yeah, they're stopped eating you at this point.
I'd like to say that as you can hear the crackling of the slime in his lower region. Lex starts swinging the baseball bat at the slimes around him.
Yeah.
That are also frozen. And then of course in the process of that, there is a crackling noise, and then there's a shattering noise, and the pants just kind of fall to nothing.
Yeah, the leg of your pants comes completely off, so you have one leg that's totally gone. The other one is wet, but not slime covered.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Thought we were stopping the fall fashion talk.
but these slimes in your area around your leg are definitely gone now.
And one-legged pants are what everybody's wearing this fall. One-legged pants. So as far as the slimes, I roll my strike and with my baseball bat,
Yes.
and then I also get the additional die from Aisha, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that's 8 versus 3.
Yep.
Okay. And then if I hit, the weapon rating of the baseball bat comes into effect then.
Correct.
Okay. This is a handful of things. All right, let's see. All right, so that is 2 challenge successes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 total successes.
Yeah, you successfully popped several of the other blobs in that area. They're starting to go down. There are some bigger ones that are coming up. Those are probably going to need a little bit more coordination. But the smaller ones in general have been taken care of for the most part.
And of course Lex will be like, not me, the slimes.
It's eating you. Plus, like you said, it's a fashion statement
The
now. You're fine.
slimes.
There was
The
slimes on your
slimes.
pants.
The slimes. And Lex is pointing with the bat at the bigger slimes that are in front of Aisha.
What do you think I'm doing now?
Right, Danny, you're up.
So, with the rebound and naivete that only kids have, Danny slides, gets pushed aside, sees that she's down, gets right back up, and then starts taking aims at the bigger slimes.
All right, make your roll.
If it's the bigger slimes, they're farther away, so could I add sharpshooter to this?
Only if you are going to be throwing it at them.
I think that's the territory we're in. I'm not swimming towards the slimes at this point.
Okay, so yeah, then you can absolutely do that.
Good call.
All right, so that's a net 4.
Nice. Okay, so you throw your flare at one of the bigger slimes. It hits it square in the center, and there's a little fizzle, 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 and then you hear like the edges of a saucepan. You kind of hear the crackling of water being evaporated, and then you hear a bloop, and it bursts. It's like Jello being
Awesome.
on fire.
Fire jello. Writes in notebook, like fire jello.
All right, now it is the slime's turn.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know, right? And they are going to continue to combine. 3 of the bigger slimes combine, and it's now about the size of a medium-sized dog floating there. And it is definitely something that Billy has seen before and is like, yeah, this tracks. So, all right. And some of the other slimes start moving towards everything else. Let's see here. Who is Lex the only one in the water?
I think Lex is the only one that's like still standing on, like in the edge of the water there.
Okay, so Lex, I'm going to actually have you roll.
All right.
Because some of the blobs start coming up to you. So you are going to you can either do resist, survival, or coordination, unless you have or athletics. Any of those will be applicable to kind of get away from these.
I have athletics and I have sprinter and jumper.
Okay. So which one would you like to do, sprinting or jumping?
We'll do sprinting because the sprinting is better than jumping, and I feel like Lex would know better than to try to jump out of water.
All right, so you are going to do that. So
Right,
this
so that's
the challenge.
6.
Yep, and the challenge rating is going to be 3 because there's 3 of them bumping up out of you.
All right. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Warp, 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 warp. Oh, damn. Okay, so that's 3 successes on the challenge die. Crap. 1, 2, 3. So that leaves me a net of 1 success.
Net of 1 success. Woo. So you start to see them coming towards you again, and you're like, oh my gosh. Thankfully, Aisha froze the slime off of you because otherwise you would have been hindered. And you are able to narrowly dodge and jump back onto the shore away from the water, and they are unable to get you.
All right.
All right. Now, top of the order. So, Billy.
So this larger one, is it coming near us? I mean, is it coming
Yes,
our direction?
it is. It is starting to come at your direction.
Alex, I got a crazy idea. I need your help on this.
All right, Bill. What do you got?
Grab the lifeguard stand. We're going to knock it on top of it. Let's do it together.
All right.
So yeah, we'll football rush the lifeguard stand, push it a bit, and then topple it over on top of them.
Okay, so what are you hoping to use for skill?
I'm hoping strike, but I didn't know if is there one that's more pertinent for that?
I would say
think Lex would use maybe athletics to try to, heft it.
You could try kicking it over, like kicking out the legs it breaks.
so. Strike is generally to hit with something.
Okay.
Do you have anything? Let me take a look at your.
I really don't. So it might be one that Lex handles.
Would survival give us maybe a trapping thing, like we're using this as a trap, an improvised trap?
So okay, so here's the thing: if you two are
Crafts.
working,
We could use crafts maybe. Make a,
you absolutely could, yeah.
I was gonna say, actually, since I go at the same time, I could spend my last fortune point and give you an axe.
You did have axe in your backpack earlier.
the never-ending.
This is a different axe, but yeah.
The MLP backpack of storing.
Okay, so you two would be assisting each other. So then you would get to pick who rolls and then the assist dice. So how would you want to, because athletics would absolutely work for that. Strike, unless you're trying to hit it with something to kind of push it over.
Well, what if Lex used strike on the stand to break the legs out from under it? On the lifeguard stand, hit the.
So, you would need to find something that the wood there is pretty thick. It's meant to not be. If you can punch through the wood stand, like nobody would be able to be up on that.
It's not meant for children to knock over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's meant to hold up an adult to sit on there.
What about Lex? Are you fairly athletic?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Lex
He's got a bat.
Lex is. I assume that Lex is probably into like early, like, 8th grade sports. Maybe 15 years old, maybe junior varsity.
All right. Then I'll let you take the roll. I'll be your +1 dice on that if you want to try athletics. That's like the best I can think, dude.
So Lex will kind of run over to the back of the stand, to the back of the lifeguard stand, and crouch down, kind of grab the cross beam, and Billy, come here, and we'll try and lift the cross beam up and just kind of push it over.
I run at it and I kind of use as much of my weight behind my body and just kind of put my shoulder into it, kind of hitting it as it's going up, and of course I yell parkour as I do it.
That's oh my god. So that assistance will give. I have 4 athletics, and that'll give me 1 additional die. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. And what's my challenge?
So the challenge rating is actually going to be 4 because it is quite heavy and it's built to hold somebody up. It's not built to be rickety.
I don't like your logic, but I'll go with it.
What is this responsibly built children's camp? I don't know what you're talking
I know,
about.
right?
Yeah, can
Every
we spend
camp
a
I've ever been to has been kind of shoddy in a lot of ways. This is
can we
the one
spend a-
thing they spent money on.
yeah, can we spend a fortune to have some budget cuts have happened that year?
You spend a fortune to have less fortune.
That's a different game.
Okay. Well, I have 1 net success.
Okay.
Wait, 1, 2. Yes, 1 net success. I have 1 spare 5. So
All right.
that works.
Nice.
1 success is all you need to accomplish what you want to do.
With I feel like Lex is pulling up hard, and it starts to kind of give, and then from behind, Billy comes flying into the thing, the parkour, and the that gives the additional oomph.
He preteen kicks it. Where he thinks it looks cool, not
I
quite
hate
as
you,
coordinated
Dad.
as you wanted it. Absolutely. So you are able to get it out. It's quite heavy and unwieldy. You probably could get to do what you want. It's still going to be a little bit of a challenge though. So, all right. So you guys got that going. Aisha, what are you doing now?
So are the bigger ones further out into the lake? Is that what you said?
They're further out in the lake. They look like they'd be about maybe chest deep in the water at this point.
Okay, I'm gonna come get knee deep and start hosing them down with the extinguishers, trying to lock them up, freeze them up. Even if I keep them from combining, I'll feel like I've succeeded.
Okay. So, I'm going to have you make your roll.
Okay. What
It's-
would the difficulty be?
So the challenge rating is moved up to a 4 because these are quite significantly bigger than the ones that you have been working with. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to get them.
Yeah, you aren't kidding. This is almost pointless. My 1 die that is positive rolled a 1. Yeah, I get net -1.
Okay, so I'm going to say you probably overstepped and went a little too far into the water and held it up, and so everything kind of sprayed down as you sprayed it. You are not in any of the slime though, none of them are around you, but they do know you're in the water now. They can feel you. All right, Danny, you are up next.
Okay, so Danny knows that she needs to at least get closer. She doesn't want to get in the water. She's also not big enough to just draw out a canoe. So can I make an excuse for there to be a paddle board or something big enough for a kid to get on and kind of scoot around with?
If you have a fortune, yes.
But it's my last one.
You can earn more.
You
maybe
can
you do
learn more.
maybe you do something cool that gets you a fortune back.
Or maybe you fail at something intentionally, like finding something. Never mind. That's bad.
So I'll spend the fortune
Yeah.
to have that. And Danny, so she's got her paddleboard. She's grabbed one of the oars to kind of like guide herself around, and not be in the water with the slimes. I think she's still working with the flares that she found earlier to cause damage.
Yep. That's absolutely legit. So it's going to be, are you going towards the bigger ones or still some of the smaller ones that are closer to the shore?
Let's start working on the bigger ones.
Okay. So the bigger one is going to be a challenge rating of 4. It's going to be quite difficult, but you can do it.
Alright, I got 1.
Okay, so you got one. So you threw. I'm assuming you're throwing your flare out to there. Okay, so you throw your flare out there, and it does land on top of it. And have you ever seen like those, like Pinterest water balloons where they like take sheets of tarp and stuff? It's kind of like that where the flare gets on top, and it's sitting there, and it is like making a little melty puddle. It's not doing a ton of damage, but at least it's doing something.
That's good.
All right. It is now the blob's turn. Who is all in the water? It's Aisha and Danny, right? Okay.
Yep.
So
All right, Aisha, you have a couple of blobs coming towards you. You can swim away from them. Let's see here. So you can use coordination if you would like.
I think that's a good plan.
All right, so it's going to be this. These are smaller ones, so it's going to be a challenge rating of 2 with these,
Okay.
and then your coordination.
All right. So I really should switch it around so my black dice are the bad ones because that's a net -1.
Oh,
All the black dice succeeded. Only one of my 3 positive dice succeeded. So
oh no. Okay, so what happens is again similar to what happened with Lex. You are now coated in slime, and you're going to find it difficult to move outside of the water. And you also take 1 physical hit because you are. Yeah, it hurts. It stings. And then, so, Danny, you are on the paddleboard, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so while they can't actually get up on there, they are on the edges. You have 2 of them bumping on the edge, and you can see as they bump on the edge, that paddleboard slowly dissolving as they consume it.
No. Don't, please.
So, okay, that is the blob's turn. So we are back at the top.
How we doing this, Lex?
was your idea, and they I feel like they keep they're pushing this as much as they can. They're kind of like moving it toward the edge of the water.
Yep. Yeah, you're probably dragging half dragging it through the sand.
Yeah.
To try and take the weight off of it.
Yeah. Billy, what are we supposed to? I mean, are we just gonna drop it on them?
No, I thought we pushed over on them like a tower, kind of falling over. It'll hit them. It'll hurt, I think.
I mean,
We gotta
okay.
do something. The big ones are bigger. They're going to get even bigger.
Well, we gotta get them out of the water.
Oh yeah.
Just leave it here for now. We gotta get them.
Okay.
So I think Lex is gonna take his turn. He'll drop the lifeguard tower where it's at, hopefully a little closer to the shore, and go to try and pull either of the kids out.
Yeah, I would say
the-
you and Billy are old enough and more athletic enough to be able to drag it a decent amount of time or space.
Okay.
Sorry. And then both Aisha and Danny are not deep enough where you would have to swim out
Okay.
super much to get them, you'd be able to reasonably reach them, or at least get hands out to.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I think Lex kind of looks to Billy and like motions, like kind of motions out to the water and like starts running that way to grab one of them. I think Lex will probably try to grab Aisha and just pull him out of the water.
So that does not require a roll as long as Aisha is okay with that.
Yeah.
All right. So you were able to pull Aisha out. And then what's Billy doing?
Danny is out on a paddleboard.
Yeah.
But not too far out. But you've got two blobs, like trying to consume the board, right?
Yep.
Man, I'm trying to think. How would I do this?
Is there one of those rope attached life preservers you could lasso her with?
Well, I think Crystal just said both of them weren't far enough out where we'd have to swim to get to them.
Yeah, but getting to them and not getting touched by the creatures would be Billy's like big concern.
Got it. Oh yeah, understood. Is Billy kind of stalling, like
Nah, if
running
anything,
into the water?
I there's a part of me that wonders that if he could run, if you're close enough to it, like a dock, run along the dock, double back, and then jump to land on the board to try and get it to go forward.
Do you have a fortune?
I would do it for a fortune.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that for a fortune. There is a miraculous dock there that has always been there.
Just didn't
Amazing!
notice
How to get
before.
there?
It's dark.
It's the increased budget. Remember, they built the new lifeguard tower. There's the new dock.
All right, I run out onto it and then try to leap my way to jump out where Danny is and use my momentum to drive the board to the shore.
Absolutely. You can absolutely do that. So you get Danny closer to shore, to the point of where she can step off pretty easily.
Cool.
And by this point, only the two blobs and the bigger one are left. The two smaller blobs absorbed some of the other smaller ones along the way. So you just have those three to take care of. The one bigger one still has the flare on the top, still kind of melting a little bit like Jello.
Is it like a birthday cake? Like it's got like a cupcake with like the flare sticking out the top and it's just kind of oozing down.
Sure, we'll go with that. I like that visual. All right, so next is Aisha. Is your turn.
So when I get yanked out, the slime that was eating my legs is still in the water. Didn't keep latched on, right? Or is it still there? Okay.
You are still covered. You are covered in slime though, but yes, it is still in the water itself.
Okay, but I'm not taking ongoing damage still.
Yes,
No,
you
you're
are.
not taking ongoing. No.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought that was the way that I got covered in slime. I thought that was the same thing. Like they got slimed and you're.
The slime was different. Slime is what causes the hindrance. The blobs were consuming you.
Got it.
Okay, so I'm not being consumed. I'm just slimed.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. If I throw this out at the thing so it absorbs it, can you hit it with one of your M80s, Billy?
Yeah,
So
let's do it. Yeah.
Like maybe it'll explode in it.
Yeah, we can definitely try that.
All right. Aisha does that thing she's seen in the Olympics last year, where the discus thrower takes the thing and spins around, or the hammer thrower and spins and spins and spins, and I'm gonna launch it out at the big thing and try and get it as close to it, if not hit it, so Billy can nab it with a M80, explode it, and if the stars align, everything works.
Yep, you can absolutely do it.
So that's aim, I'm assuming, or am I doing this to assist Billy?
So let's see here. I would say, because Billy already took his turn this turn, so you can take a turn to aim yourself and then gain another dice. I'll allow you to do that.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Well, I said I was spinning. That obviously takes an entire turn.
All right. So yeah, so you're essentially doing something to help you aim a little bit better. You're going to gain an extra dice then in the next round.
Okay.
All right. Danny, what are you doing?
All right, Danny is going to take her oar and work on the 2 smaller slimes that came ashore with her and just whack, whack.
Yep. Yeah.
So that looks like strength, or excuse me, strike.
The boost strike.
Okay.
And the 2 smaller ones are you have 2. If you're trying to hit both of them, it's going to be a 4 for a challenge rating because it's 2 and 2. You can absolutely do that because there's 2 sides to an oar usually, so you can try to do it. You can either split your dice or you can try to roll together.
Yeah, I'm just going to go for it. I think that'll be fun.
Okay.
So I got 1-1, 6-6 on the black, and 6-6 on the white.
So you got net 0.
Net 0, but it looks cool.
Anybody else remember that internet service provider? Net Zero?
Yeah.
Oh my
Anybody?
gosh.
Am I just the oldest one there? Okay.
Okay.
No, I got you.
So let's
Thank
see
you.
here. So, Danny, you are child of nature. And nature in this area is being called under attack. And as you are doing this and trying to take care of the slimes, a little frog pops up on the end of one of your oars and helps to push it down just enough for you to get momentum to at least get one of the slimes, and then hops back off.
Mr. Ribbit.
We call him
Yay!
Mr. Ribs.
Oh, and like with the hop, like as it hits the oar, you get the.
So, and also, Danny, I'm going to give you a fortune because you are going against your nature of being a child of nature and trying to be in balance with everything by committing violent acts.
Blob's bad. Blobs eat trees.
So, and you are trying to help protect nature in your own way.
Thank you.
There's definitely like, and some of these blobs have like little fish skeletons sticking out of them.
They're eating
Absolutely.
their friends.
They are eating your friends. You don't like this. All right. It is now the blob's turn. The giant blob starts coming slowly towards you guys because it knows, hey, there's food there, and it'll make me grow bigger and stronger. And so it spends its time doing that. The little blob is going to try to dissolve a little bit more of your paddleboard, even though you're closer to shore. You can see it start to eat away, and your paddleboard kind of get a little dippy on one side. It's making you a little nervous. All right, we're back up at the top.
And Crystal, can I spend my last fortune to have the giant blob start to envelop the extinguisher as it's moving forward?
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Like it's not like it just like it starts to, you know, you can see the extinguisher start to sink
I haven't
into that
thrown
blob.
it yet.
Oh, sorry, I thought you did on your turn. Okay.
You can hold with your turn, Lex. You can hold your turn for when it's Aisha's turn to do that.
Which I can,
Well,
which
I'm
we
just
all have
gonna-
fours, so I could go right now.
Everyone forget that I mentioned the fortune thing until it's appropriate, so we'll just skip that.
You're totally fine.
What? Michael, did you say something? Okay. Top of the round, you said?
Yes.
All right, Aisha's gonna let it fly with the fire extinguisher.
All right, and then so you got an extra dice
Yep.
with the fire extinguisher, so you can absolutely do that.
I'm gonna spend my last fortune point to add a die,
Absolutely, you can do that.
so it's still challenge rating of 4.
Correct. Yeah.
All right, 3 positive, 4 negative dice, and I just dropped one of my positive dice on the ground. That will never be found again. Let's do this. I feel like I'm playing Shadowrun. Holy crap! I succeeded at something.
Yeah. Yeah.
One net success.
All right, you absolutely do it. You all you need is one success. You get it. You're able to get it, loft it over. It hits right smack in the middle of the big jelly, big blob. It kind of shivers just a little bit, and then Lex, you are able to do what you need to do.
There's definitely a humming of Aisha under her breath, like, watch it wiggle, see it jiggle.
We're gonna say Billy is the one that's actually doing the thing. So Lex is waiting to see what happens with this.
All right. So Billy goes first then, right?
Yeah, and since the hit was straight on, again, we don't need to spend any fortune. The tank is where it needs to be.
Yep.
Billy will turn around, pull out the slingshot, light a cherry bomb, and is this looks at it and says something along the lines of smile, you son of a blob, and then this lets it go.
All right.
So that's 3, and then what's the challenge rating for this larger one?
4.
4. Plus my fear still?
Yes, plus your fear.
Fun times.
I will actually, you know what? I'm going to let you not roll the fear because you have now proven that you are working together with friends. And before you were alone. You faced these alone.
Aww.
Yes. Power of friendship, and friendship is magic. And magic works differently in Kids Guide to Monster Hunting.
There we go. All right, well, here we go.
I picture when the M80 is flying through, the cherry bomb's flying through the air, like the camera cuts to it for a second, there's a big bang written on the side of it in like gold letters, because that was one of the special ones. Just, it feels right.
I love how quickly I can do the counting on this system, though, because I literally got 2 successes and none of the challenge dice came up, so 2 successes.
Nice. Awesome. You absolutely are able to get it right to where you need to in order to set it off for the thing to go boom.
It's like a snow globe exploded. It's like
absolutely is like a snow globe exploded. So yes, you absolutely are able to get rid of the bigger slime, and you just have the one little slime left.
Good shot, Billy. Way to
Thanks.
Way to turn your delinquency into something positive.
And
Don't
one
put it
slime
that way.
The one slime that's left is actually on Danny's paddleboard. Yes.
Yes.
Like it's like consuming it.
Yes.
I think Lex is gonna try and run out again next to Danny in the water, like, or maybe along the new dock that is in place, and like I guess he's gonna like Danny, look out, and he's gonna start like just swinging at the paddle, like bringing the bat down on the slime, but also it's gonna be end up hitting the board.
Lexi smash.
Yeah.
Lexi smash.
Like it's
All
like
right.
two-handed, like from the dock. It's like ah.
Absolutely, you can absolutely do that.
All right.
So you're gonna do your strike.
And its target number or the challenge dice.
It's 2.
2. All right. Way easier than before. Sweet.
Yep, this is a smaller one.
Let's. If this
These
fails,
add up very quickly if you're not careful.
if this fails, I have to banish these dice permanently because it's like I'm rolling 7 to 2 here, so I shouldn't fail. Famous last words.
Oh no.
Oh, that works. The challenge dice washed out, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Nice. All right. You absolutely swing and take care of the last one. Do you want to do anything narrative with that?
I think narratively, again, Lex brings that bat down on this boogie board, this kickboard, right? And the slime goes like the slime gets obliterated, but it also basically splits the board in half, and Danny gets like kind of dumped backward. Like the board flips up, and Danny gets dumped into the water.
Yep, that
Much like
totally
that. Yeah,
tracks.
much like that.
All right.
And then Lex will like reach down and like reach his hand down to like pull Danny out onto the dock.
All right. So that all happens. You look around, and the first thing that Danny would notice is that the night sounds have come back. And the second thing you would have noticed is that there was a little slight pop in your ear as that bubble burst. So it's kind of like when you dive pretty deep, sometimes that you get that ear popping. It's kind of what it was like. It's a little, but not anything that you couldn't handle. And it was, who was it? It was Danny and Lex. You guys had the blob in your books, right?
No, I believe I did not.
Oh, you did not. It was
I
Danny.
did not have a blob.
Just Danny.
And he did.
It was just Danny. Okay, so Danny, you know that the blobs drop trophies. If you collect some of the slime, you can use it to make yourself very slippery. So you just need a container to be able to contain it.
How about a lot of pockets?
I mean, it's gonna...
Slime pocket.
Does Danny look like she cares?
I mean, no, she wouldn't care.
Yeah,
She
maybe
absolutely would
at
put
least
it in her...
one pocket full of slime.
Lex will pull a snack pack out of his little backpack, and real quick like squeeze it into his mouth. So like the Jello, he eats the Jello and then hands the empty container over to Danny.
Oh no, I'm good. It'll be a little weird for a while, but I think I have a jar back at the cabin that I can stick it into later. If I get enough of it, I'm just gonna get some more. Maybe 2 pockets of slime is gonna be enough.
And Lex is standing there watching you shovel slime in your pockets, just holding out this little plastic container like...
The look of horror on your face is just great.
Danny looks happier than a clam.
I grab a handful of it, and I'm like, Danny, do you smell that? And I push her hand up into her face when she sniffs it.
Billy, you're so mean!
Don't eat that. Please don't eat that. Don't lick it. Don't lick your, don't just,
Gross,
no.
Billy!
Isha walks up next to Lex and just shakes her head and says in a way too adult of a voice, "Kids, huh?"
Right?
I'm waiting for
And
Lex to
then
go
Lex
Murtaugh
realizes-
and be like, I'm getting too old for this.
Oh, no.
I mean,
Lex
he
and
is- he
Aisha
is
are the
three-
parents.
He is 3 days from retirement, so you know. Hang on, I got
I'm
it.
too old for this ish.
I'm gonna spend since I'm out of fortune, I'm going to take a mental hit, Aisha looks kind of like she's kind of got a bit of a headache, but she reaches back into her My Little Pony backpack and pulls out 3 mason jars that her mom uses for canning, but she kept a few, and hands one to Lex and one to Billy, and she collects some slime into that.
I love that you called it your My Little Bony backpack, because now I'm picturing like the backpack is a skeletal pony.
Yes!
Sure.
That's
There you go.
it.
It's a spooky game, spooky season,
Yeah.
right?
Well, it's around Halloween, so yeah.
All right. So you guys collect slime. And
Also, real quick, Lex will reach back into his pack and pull out like two little packages of Hostess cupcakes. He'll open both of them and everybody gets like a cupcake to like.
nice.
Yay!
Oh, you got snacks. You are the parents in the group.
I washed down my last juice box.
All right, so as you guys are sitting there consuming snacks and trying to figure out what your next plan of attack is,
got a carbo load before monster hunting.
Okay,
Right?
so I think this is what we were here to find. The book wanted us to find. What does the book say about the lake now?
So as you open up the lake, or open up the book, open up the lake. That's quite a feat right there. As you open up the book, you notice that there is writing now that you can actually read. The words have unscrambled themselves and they make more sense. It tells about the history of the lake and how the lake has been here since the glaciers have melted, and that it is a spring-fed lake. So the water continues to replenish. However, they are unsure of where the spring actually comes from. And because of that, there are rumors of things like monsters such as Nessie. There are also like strange happenings and lights that happen over the lake. And it lays out in great detail the fact that much of this lake is gorgeous, and during the day it is totally fine. But at night is when the issues start to happen, and that it can become quite dangerous. It also happens to be a focal point to draw things to it because of that spring. Which is why you hear stories about ghosts and you hear stories about creatures in the woods, because they're all drawn to the lake and the power that it has around this area. And you flip through and you go to the next section where you see the summit, the Sunrise Summit, and that is still scrambled.
All right, so whoever left this book for us, whether it was future us or whoever, basically, by going to these places and taking care of the monsters there, it unlocks the lore, I think.
Yeah, no, it seems very cool. So we're
we need
going,
to go
right?
to the summit.
I think so.
Well, let's go.
All right.
We're not gonna sleep all night. We're gonna fight monsters and then sleep all day.
Remind me not to give Danny any more cupcakes.
Danny's wired.
Do the cupcakes restore any of our physical hits?
You know what? I am going to say yes, it does. Simply
right.
because, the power of sugar,
Kids and snacks.
right? Kids
Yeah.
and snacks. And the fact that you thought to bring them. I can't
Thought to
English
brought 'em.
today.
We need to unscramble something for you. I got it.
There is absolutely a reason why I have an editor for writing.
Totally
get
get
that.
that one. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys head on up to the summit. It is a little bit of a hike. It is meant to be a grueling task that the older kids do at the camp. And it started, you have a sneaking suspicion because the counselors wanted to wear out the older kids from the energy that they had. And to just get them tired enough to be able to just rest. So...
I think there's also rumors that the counselors come out here at night sometimes to like blow off steam.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you guys head on up. You do eventually make it, and you still have a couple hours before sunrise. This is really late for most of you. Most of you are pretty tired, but yeah, but the sugar high and the fact that you were just monster hunting is keeping some of you going. You might be getting a little ornery, but...
Who's the youngest? It's Danny, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Danny is very tired.
Maybe some point during this little hike, Lex has like kind of put Danny on his back.
There's just keep going just straight, and then you go a little further. Danny's kind of like mumbling into your shoulder directions, trying to participate.
Just take a nap if you need to. I'll try and keep. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll get there.
I'm your navigation personally.
Okay. So you get up to the summit, and you absolutely can tell that the illustration that's in there is what you need to be at. And you're looking around, and you notice that within one of the rock structures that's up there, there are some carvings in the rock. And you pull out your book and you notice that it's the same as one of the passages, the phrases in there. It looks very similar. You still don't know what it means, but you have something.
That's weird.
Maybe we gotta rub the rock with it. My dad used to tell me about when he was a kid. They went to the, like graveyards and rubbed rocks with paper or something.
Well, maybe this is the Sunrise Summit. Maybe it only happens at sunrise
Whoa,
or right before sunrise.
Lex, that's really smart.
How long is it until sunrise?
That's a good question. Lex is not wearing a watch.
No. It's quite some time.
It's gonna be a while.
Yeah, I've been out all night before. That's not probably gonna happen.
So it's like scrambled, incomprehensible words, right? Like we can't kind of sound it out or figure out what it says.
Yep. I am going to have everyone make a knowledge roll.
All right.
It's a challenge rating of 3.
Ooh.
It's gonna be a little. It's a little bit of a leap of logic, but we'll see who gets there.
I got 2.
Chance at that time.
My dice are liking me. I also got 2.
Nice.
Danny's sleep revived. She can make that leap of logic.
That's a wash for
Net fail 1.
Net fail 1. Okay, so we have 2 that are able to kind of put 2 and 2 together. That the message that you are getting from the book or whatever you choose to ascribe to this messaging is that you had to go and accomplish this task first. The lake was first for a reason, and you collected that reason.
The slime!
The slime.
Danny blurrily reaches into her pocket and slaps it on the carving.
As you slap it on the carving, it glitters and then glows. And then all of a sudden, like, cracks start to pop through that, the carving in there, and then it starts to kind of crumble away. And you see, and Lex, you know what this is. This is the door to that liminal space. You have now found and opened this door.
All right, everybody, we're gonna need these. But just hold on to them until we absolutely need them. And Lex reaches back into his pack and pulls out a package of pixie sticks.
I mean,
Ooh,
I could kind of use one now.
Everybody gets 2. Eat one now. Eat one in like 15 minutes.
Can I have a blue one and an orange one?
You get what you get, Danny. I'm sorry, I
Here,
didn't.
Danny, I got a blue one. Here, I'll trade.
Hey, trade amongst yourselves, but everybody gets 2. 2 should get us through this. Any
Give me
more
your
than
pink.
that,
Give me your pink one. I'll take your blue one. You can have the blue one.
Fine.
And we
Billy,
just
do
need
you
an
care
orange
what
one.
flavors you get?
Who, me?
Yeah,
Is there another
you're the
Billy?
only Bill here.
Well, no, not really. I'm sorry, did you give it to me? I want to use it as a weapon.
It's not a weapon. It is.
It is if it goes into somebody's eyes. Trust me, that stuff stinks.
You
Yeah,
should get
but-
one of the red ones. It'll make you faster.
At least eat one.
Good point.
Yeah, my mom usually doesn't let me have it at food cart.
Well, your mom's not here.
Are you allergic to them?
No, she just says it makes me really angry. You
You're-
wouldn't
you're-
like me when I'm angry.
Are you some kind of Are you some kind of rebel? I thought you were some kind of rebel, Bill. You always do what your mom says.
Well, no, that's why I'm going to use it as a weapon.
No space.
Oh, Aisha's right behind you.
Guys,
You see the two
wait up, wait
youngers
up.
go into the liminal space. All right,
Kids, whatever,
so
right?
we're going to break here just real quick because Aisha and Danny see something that Billy and Lex do not currently, which is you walk in and you see the entirety of your camp all broken apart and floating in different areas, and you are on one of those spaces. And you can see a little far off into the distance that there is a cabin with a light on. And you can see some sort of figure off in the distance walking around that space in front of that light. But you cannot quite make out what it is.
Okay, either are we in no liminal space? I was gonna say, is liminal space contained within the book? We should go ask whoever that is. What do you think?
Yeah, I think if we could jump from there to there, and then like backflip and go there, like it would be super easy.
Okay, I'm gonna pause you two.
Sounds good.
All right, Billy and Lex, you just saw the littles walk in there.
I'm 12.
They're young. You're younger.
Kids, right, Lex? I mean, come on.
Billy, come on.
Let's go.
Come on.
I walk through the space, yeah.
All right, and
And
you.
then Lex will go last.
Okay, so then you both see the same thing, and then you see Aisha and Danny arguing about how to get over to go talk to something.
I don't think we're arguing so much as we're about to start doing it.
We're strategizing.
Yes.
Crossing into the space, and you say that Lex is familiar. Is Lex also familiar with how how movement works in this space?
Yes, so
Okay.
the technical game term for what you're in is called the magic zone. It is essentially a liminal space that is created by monsters. They have gathered so much power that they have to be contained within their own space, otherwise they will actually consume and destroy everything around them.
Cool.
All right.
So you can easily determine that some sort of monster created this space. Whatever monster is the big bad of this area is most likely contained in here.
Alright, so everybody be on your guard. Don't go talk to that thing over there. Just it's all we gotta work together, right? Lex jumps up and down real quick. Is it standard movement? Like
Yep, it's standard movement.
okay. And these sections of floating pieces of camp, are they moving at all or are they static?
So they seem to be somewhat moving, but they're not they're really, really slow.
I
It's
guess
not-
I was
it's not
thinking it's just like a
spinning.
platformer game where you've got part of the camp moving closer and farther and closer and farther and
Yeah, except for it's not predictable.
got it.
Look, I mean, there was something in that cabin over there. The light is on. They might know something about the book.
Yeah,
They
it might be the
but
thing that's waiting to eat us.
Danny, this space is created by monsters.
Well, yeah, there's nothing saying a monster couldn't write a book, but
Yeah,
maybe
but-
it can tell us about it.
But when was the last time you talked to a monster? They're not known for conversation.
But if that's the monster who did it, instead of somebody to talk to, that's where we should go to beat it up.
Now that I'm down with.
So, as you guys are talking, you can hear your voices kind of carry off and echo into the distance. And then you hear a howl.
Werewolves, great.
And two of you know that howl.
It's a werewolf?
Oh, it's a
I don't-
werewolf.
I'm guessing. I don't know actually. So, but we
No,
mentioned
I-
werewolves earlier, so.
No, that's
It-
Lex specifically is yes, it's a werewolf.
Okay, I was joking. I've never met a werewolf. Is that the one where you have to stake it through the heart? No, that's vampires.
Oh, no, they're not
Silver.
that bad. They're actually big pushovers.
Is it silver?
I mean, They're not great, but I mean, we could. I think we could definitely beat it. Do we have any silver?
I mean, I maybe could get us some, but I'm starting to get kind of tired.
Well, we'll figure it out.
So, Danny,
For-
you have the book, correct?
Yes.
As you guys are talking, you've noticed that there's been. You have a backpack, right? Where it's in.
Yeah.
Your backpack has been moving, and you're only now just paying attention. Like you are only now just noticing it.
So Danny will shuffle through for the movement to kind of figure out what it is.
Yeah,
I assume realize it's the book.
The book is vibrating.
Plays with book. Looks inside.
Okay. So as you are looking inside the book, you notice that the section that was unreadable is now readable within this space. And you page through it real quick, and you notice that there is a key hidden within this area guarded by a werewolf. And that werewolf is trying to use that key to get out. The last page is still scrambled. You cannot read it in here.
Okay, so we need to get the key before the werewolf does, so that the werewolf stays here.
Does the book say where the key is?
Well, it's hidden.
Is there a clue? Will the book play hot or cold with us?
Will the book play hot or cold with us?
Make a knowledge roll.
Challenge rating?
Challenge rating is going to be a 3. Since you are holding the book.
Net 1.
That one. Okay, so all you need is 1. And as you're reading through, you kind of page through, and it says that there is a key that is hidden in one of the cabins, and that it is an unlucky number.
It's in an unlucky cabin. It's in cabin 13. That's gotta be it.
Well, there's 2 cabin 13s, remember?
Yeah, we're sleeping
Oh.
in one of them. Well,
No,
my
we're
sleeping
not.
bag is sleeping in one of them.
13A and 13B, so it can be in either one.
Well, first we gotta find cabin 13, period. So,
Or we need to distract that thing so somebody can go in that cabin. Or we need to find some sort of weapon so we can fight that thing.
Well, if we get the key before it, you said it needed it to get out of here. If we get the key, we leave, it's stuck here. We don't even have to fight it.
You want to just sneak around in here, or do we want to try and distract it?
I can be
I don't
very
think-
sneaky.
I don't think we should separate. I think we should sneak.
Okay.
Yeah, Billy, we should probably stick together.
I just think.
So what do you guys want to do?
Danny's pretty motivated to find cabin 13, find the key, and get out. I know there's A and B, but I assume they're like right on top of each other.
So, while you're not quite certain, they are together. So they're either going to be close enough to each other, or perhaps they are in the same area.
But we have to get there, right?
You have to get there. Yep.
Danny's gonna hop on another rock. It's exploring time.
Yeah, Aisha's going with her.
Staying
Stick
together.
with your buddy.
You guys,
Right.
you guys, just everybody, just be careful, okay? Ugh.
Yes, Dad.
It's okay, we have the magic pixie stick.
Just-
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, I need everyone to make athletics checks or survival. Or if you think that's something else for jumping around or finding a direction to head in this space, if you want to do something like that.
Would
I know it's
coordinate.
a. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Would coordination help?
Yes, it will.
I like coordination.
I know it's a mystical area we're in. Are we technically still in the woods?
technically, no, you are in a liminal space. So it
That's
is
fair.
neither. It is like considered its own space.
The worst you can say is no.
What was the challenge rating again?
So the challenge rating is going to be a 3 around here.
Lex is using athletics and jumping, so 5 total.
Okay,
5 bonus. I guess 5 bonus.
sounds good. And then what is
I'm at a
Billy
watch.
using?
I think I
Yeah,
want
watch.
to use survival and see if I can find us a path through.
Yeah.
So,
Lex also got a wash.
Okay.
Aisha, Kaylee's dice really like her now. I got 0 hits on my negative dice and 3 on my good dice. So that's a triple success.
Ooh, yeah, that is.
2 net failures.
Okay. So you guys are moving as a group, okay? And you have 2 people who had a net 0, which means you make it is not pretty. And Aisha has to grab Billy because when Billy jumps, he doesn't make it all the way and starts to fall within this space. Aisha had enough successes where she is able to grab him and pull him up into that space.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah.
Did you eat your pixie stick?
Oh,
Eat your pixie stick. The red would have gotten you there.
he eats his pixie stick begrudgingly.
You gain a fortune.
Good boy.
The once we kind of settle again on this new piece of territory, Lex is gonna pick up like a rock off the ground, off
Yep.
the island piece, and kind of walk over to the edge and just kind of throw it over the edge.
Yeah. So as it throws over the edge, it starts to curve and almost make like a circle. And then
So
comes
just-
back to you.
Does it continue to like just kind of orbit in
Yep.
space?
It continues to orbit. It neither goes faster nor slower. It just continues.
Well, that's a thing, everybody. And Lex points at the fist-sized rock that's just kind of spinning around the middle of the space now.
I don't really know about testing the gravity of the area with human bodies since we've never been here before.
No,
How
no,
hard did you throw the rock?
I just gave it a light toss.
What if you really wing it?
Um,
Maybe you just need it. It's like trying to escape the Earth's gravity. They taught us that in space camp.
Well, no,
Once
no,
you get to a certain escape velocity, you can then break free of the Earth's gravitational pull.
Does the circle like pass? Is it directly like kind of passing some of these like floating islands, or is it all kind of again? There's multiple levels.
So it is floating, and as you notice that it is getting close to certain rocks that go in a certain pattern.
I mean, in theory, we don't know exactly where we're going, so pushing forward seems to be a practical solution at the moment.
Well, we're going to cabin 13.
We know we're going to cabin 13, but we don't really know where cabin 13 is, do we?
Not yet.
It might be easier to move around though if we use the properties of this space. Because we were just kind of climbing. I mean, if we can float over to one of those rocks over there, and it looks like we don't sink or rise, so it's not like we're gonna fall out of this space. Screw it. And Lex will kind of like take 2 steps back and like kind of jump out into the liminal space.
Okay. So as you jump out into the liminal space, you feel for a moment as if your body is going to fall. And you've had that experience before, whether it's, you jumping from a cliff into a body of water or doing some sort of roller coaster ride. You've felt that before, and then all of a sudden you feel like you got caught. And you stop falling, but you start moving. And
Inertia's still working?
Inertia's still working. and you can kind of coordinate and move a little bit, but it's like trying to move when you're going downstream of a river. You're more in the current than you are controlling it.
So I think Lex is gonna let himself just like ride the current for a minute and see like how the current goes before he starts fighting it. If that's the feeling of it, like
Yeah.
this clearly is taking me somewhere. Let's see where I end up.
Yeah. So as you are pulling this current and you are riding it around, you can feel it shift with you. The rock still stays in place, but you feel all of a sudden a push. And then you start moving into a different direction away from the group. And in the general direction of that specific cabin with the light on.
Lex kind of yells over his shoulder, guys, don't do this. Don't take the long way.
You seem to be moving efficiently.
I'm going to the cabin with the light. It's where I think it's taking me there.
Do we want
Whatever
to go to
it
the cabin
is.
flight? That's where the thing is. Danny jumps.
Aisha jumps. We don't leave our team behind.
Aw, okay, whatever, and I jump.
Okay, so you all feel the same thing. You feel that moment of falling, and you feel, and that some of you are familiar with it, some of you like it, some of you don't like it. But then all of a sudden, instead of the rock, which is still going, it has not changed, it has not slowed down or sped up, you feel all of a sudden a whoosh as something else pushes you out of that stream and in the same direction as Lex. So, Lex, you are now getting closer to this cabin. What are you going to do?
I'd like to, like, if I can, make I don't know if you want investigation or what, to try and see if at any time have we passed cabin 13? Like, has this little trip taken us past the spot we wanted to be in?
I'm gonna tell you, you don't even have to make a knowledge roll for that. I would assume you, out of anybody, would be paying more attention to it, simply because you have been the caretaker this entire time, and you are really, really perceptive of those things. You have not passed it.
Everybody keep your eyes peeled. I haven't seen cabin 13 yet, but it looks like we're going this way. And he'll kind of just yell that out into the space toward the three kids.
Yeah. So you do pass by cabins, and none of them have numbers on them. You start to get closer and closer, and you can see, Lex, as you get closer to the cabin with the light on it, you can see a werewolf there, and it is trying to get into that cabin, but cannot.
Is Lex close enough to, like, or am I still moving toward that house, or am I still in the current?
You are still in the current, moving toward that house. The werewolf has not spotted you yet, though.
All right. Lex is gonna quietly pull his baseball bat out of his pack, and kind of like hold it in hand and like ready for landing, like trying to take up a stance, like so he's ready for his feet to hit the ground. I guess I should say, does Lex realize he's gonna have to make an effort to get to the house, like out of the stream?
So you have two options. You can either like go full-on attack mode, or you can try to let the stream pass you by and come up behind the house if you want to try and sneak in. So you have two options.
I know we had talked about some sneaking. I think Lex is thinking about this in the terms of maybe him being a good distraction, being the oldest kid.
Yeah.
So Lex is gonna kind of go attack mode.
Okay.
He will like kind of force himself or will himself to kind of come out onto that piece of property and kind of like land flat-footed, and his knees bend a little, and he kind of straightens up and he's like, "Hey,
Yep.
You looking for something?
All right. So you do so. I am at this point. The rest of you see this happen and see that Lex has made a choice. And his choice is violence. So what I am going to do is I'm going to have everybody make their initiative rolls. However, Lex is going to get a surprise round because the werewolf didn't see you coming.
To make things a little, I think, make more sense for the group. Maybe before Lex like did that, there's that brief moment of like kind of yelling back into the stream, "Find the key," and then Lex jumps off onto the platform.
Okay. So Lex is doing that. So
right.
What is everyone's initiatives?
Danny got a 5.
7.
Ooh.
6.
9.
Nice. Okay. So
My Catacon dice like me.
nice.
Yeah.
So technically, Lex, you are going to get 2 rounds because you get your
Oh.
surprise round and then
Okay.
you start the new round.
All right. So my werewolf confidence 1, does that give me a bonus die against werewolves?
It does.
All right, awesome. So Lex is going to charge forward and try to like whack this werewolf with his baseball bat.
Okay. So you go and you take a swing. It is a challenge rating of 4.
Okay, that's all right. I have 7 with my strike and the baseball bat, and then my confidence gives me an extra 1, so I have 8.
Nice.
Dang.
A lot of dice.
Fistful of dice is good.
I take that. That's okay. That's 2 successes for the challenge. So 3 successes with for hits. 3 successes for hits.
Nice. Okay. So you absolutely take a swing and you connect with that werewolf. And it lets out a howl of pain.
That is a weapon rating of 2 for the baseball bat.
Awesome. Yeah, that it definitely felt that. So yeah. And then you get to go again.
And another, like the bat comes back again. Another like 2-handed swing down.
All right.
Trying to think of something witty and pithy to say, but I'm coming to blank.
Where's your guard?
Who's been a bad dog? Who's been a bad dog? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, 1 success. Oh.
Okay, this one,
Sorry, go ahead.
I would say this one doesn't connect as easy as it did
Okay.
before.
Yeah.
So
The all the challenge dice came up positive, but luckily I was rolling a lot of good dice. So
ooh.
yeah. That was rough. So that's both of my goes. So there's 1 swing and then a 2nd swing.
All right. All right.
Trying
So
to
next,
clearly distract the werewolf from what's happening behind me.
it is. You definitely have its attention now. It is not happy. Kaylee, you are next.
So I'm going to, while I'm hurtling and ignoring what Lex said, hurtling towards the werewolf as it's distracted,
Mhm.
I'm going to, I have some carpentry tools in my pack, and I
Yes,
pull
you
out
do.
one of those big old steel T-squares that people use for drafting,
Yep.
and I'm just going to launch myself at this thing and smack the ever-living poop out of it.
Okay, so Aisha is going to try and square up with it.
I've got an angle.
Oh,
Ow.
Well,
Ouch.
y'all
let's
try
see
and
if
be
you made.
cute.
Let's say if you made the right call.
We'll find out. Okay, so the weapon rating on the weapon doesn't affect the attack, just the damage. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And you said 4 is negative. Okay, let's see how this goes. That is a really good roll. That is 2 net successes.
Nice. All right, good job. So,
Okay.
yeah, but you hit it pretty solidly with the edge of it. It does
Okay.
not like that.
So how do I roll damage again? I've forgotten already.
So you don't roll damage. What happens
Okay.
is that you do damage with the total successes plus your
Okay.
weapon.
So that would be 4 total, 2 for the weapon, 2 for the successes, and Aisha comes hurtling through the sky and like smacks the thing across the back of the knees and says, "Sit, Ubu, sit, good dog."
Nice.
I was watching Family Ties on the TV before we went to the campfire.
All right. So yes, so you smack it, and yeah, does not like that at all. Period. Okay. Next up is going to be Billy.
Wow. Like, even little for me, maybe. Here, I'll give you some help, and then I'll actually use the pixie stick. I'll rip the ends off both of it, and blow the sugar into the werewolf's eyes.
Well done.
Cool. Okay, so what is your goal? Like, you want to obviously sting it in the eyes. Now, are you putting some belief behind this, or like, are you trying to tap into that childhood feeling again?
Kind of, yeah. I think it's more that, this is going to burn, sting, and maybe blind it for a moment or two.
Okay. So I'm gonna have you make. Let's do an aim roll. Because technically you're throwing it. Technically. Yeah, and then is there anything else that you want to add to it?
I don't think there's anything else I can add to that.
If you get really good success, could it have been orange, so it'll drive Danny into a rage when she sees that you didn't share?
Orange is the best flavor. Make her so mad.
Orange is the new green.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, nice.
That is 2. Or actually, I need to ask, what was the challenge rating on this?
4.
4. I need to roll one more dice. Okay, it did knock me down 1, so I only got 1 net success.
Okay. So you blow the pixie sticks in its eyes, and it does actually like howl out in pain, and it now has difficulty seeing. All right, you guys are working together on this. Danny.
So Danny's gonna do what she was supposed to and try and sneak into this cabin.
Okay, so she's gonna try to sneak. All right, you do so.
And is there a challenge rating to this, or?
So the challenge rating is going to be 2.
Okie
Because
dokie.
they're trying to technically break into the back of this cabin.
Just seeing really quick if there's anything else I have that applies. No, not really. So I'm rolling 3v2.
Okay.
God, it should be easy for me to count, and it's not. I got a 1.
You got 1 success?
Yes.
Okay, that's totally fine. You still are able to. So you open up the back window, and it was left open. And as you walk into the back window, you see all 4 of you in that cabin.
Hi, guys.
Other you comes up and is like, "Oh, Thank goodness you got our message. We have been trying to get a hold of you for years. We have been trapped here. We cannot stop this werewolf. You must take this key and get out before it can get you, or you will become a part of this space like we have.
But you're me.
Not anymore. I look like you, but we've been here for so long that the magic has changed us.
I could have beaten a werewolf. And I'm 8.
It's not technically a werewolf. It's something else. I don't know what it is. But it doesn't act like a werewolf. It just looks like one.
Are my friends in trouble?
You are all in trouble. And she pushes the key into your hands. And it's warm. It's warmer than anything that you've ever felt before. But it doesn't burn you. It feels more like it's a part of you than anything else. She goes, you need to run. Because defeating the werewolf here is not actually defeating it. You will lose. Run now.
Daniel, back out the window.
Okay.
Is everyone still fighting?
Yes, everyone is still fighting.
Are we still in initiative?
You will have...
The werewolf hasn't gone yet.
The werewolf hasn't gone yet. You will have a split second to be able to do something.
Guys, this is too scary. Run. I want to go home.
Okay.
I never want to go home. Take me home.
All right, as you say, take me home, you feel that current of whatever it was you were in pick you up and start taking you off.
Oh no!
So literally, Danny says that and then just starts floating away.
Yep. And now it's the werewolf's turn. So, it cannot see. However, Lex, it knows that you are here. And it knows that you hit it quite hard, in fact. And it is very angry. So it is going to try to bite you. Alright. So it has 5 dice to do so. And that is with it not being able to see you.
Okay. Now, in my... I didn't ask this before. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I have gear, which is armor,
Yeah.
AR1. In this particular case, since it seems that Lex is a baseball player, we're going to say that this armor piece looks like a modified like catcher's pad.
Yeah.
Like it's maybe got some like leather pieces sewn onto it, but it was clearly a piece of baseball gear.
Yeah.
That he's turned into a piece of armor. So, does that reduce damage?
That'll reduce damage, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that's 5. I have a resist 3.
Okay. Yeah, you can absolutely do resist. You can do athletics.
I will do. Can I do athletics jumper like to try and dodge out of the way?
Absolutely, you can.
All right, we'll do that. That'll give me 5.
Okay.
You said it's a 5 challenge.
Yep.
Oh boy. I'll roll you.
This is what they do.
This
I love
die-
that you can roll your own fate.
This die rolls historically bad, so you could be a challenge die. Okay. So that is There's two challenge successes.
2 challenge successes.
Yes.
Okay, so it bites you. All right. So
And yes, so now.
So here is what happens. So first off, it negates 1 of the damage
Okay.
from your armor.
Okay.
However, your armor is now punctured. It'll still work, but you will probably have to repair it at some point. You do take another physical hit through that armor. And you can feel and you know that a werewolf's bite is bad.
So Lex is going to use his special ability,
Yes.
which is that tickled.
Yep.
The older kid can shrug off almost any hit someone or something throws at them. Being bigger and stronger has its benefits. They may voluntarily take 1 hit to their mental health to negate any physical hits they would have taken this round.
Nice.
Wow.
So absolutely. So
So-
here's what happens with that. Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
So I was gonna say, like, so Lex tries to move out of the way. The werewolf lunges down, and like I feel like the werewolf kind of does the grab, and then like the bite on the shoulder, like you got that, and you see Lex wince for a second, and then look down and just go like, really?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that absolutely happens. And the physical or the mental hit comes from you know what happens if you get bit twice by a werewolf on 2 different moons. And you are close enough to that moon for it to count. So you are going to spend the next month worrying about running into a werewolf again and getting bit and turning to one.
I think that's fair.
So there may be nightmares involved.
Lex will kind of turn to the other 2 kids. Definitely, the bark is worse than the bite.
All right. So we are up for the next round. Lex, you are up first.
Well, I mean, the werewolf is right there, and
Yep.
I've got a bat, and I'm gonna swing it.
You do.
And it's you said 4. The challenge rating was 4 to hit it, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay. 2 successes. No, wait.
Okay.
3 successes. 3 successes.
Okay. You absolutely hit it. You were able to square
So
up.
that's 5. There should be 5 total with the successes and the 2 weapon rating.
All right. So you hit it and you smack it in the face, and all of a sudden it bursts into all of these little tiny crystals. But you know, in a liminal space, that a monster can't actually be destroyed. It just comes back more powerful. So you need to go.
Yeah. The explosion happens, like glittery crystal things start shedding everywhere. Follow Danny. Follow Danny. We gotta go now.
All right. So does everyone think thoughts of home or jump up or whatever?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you guys all get back to the entrance of where you started. You take that key and you walk through. And you turn around and you stick the key as you get back in the other side and close that door and lock it just as the sun starts coming up for the day.
Like, does the key go into like this hole? Like, it looks like it's like the tip of the key
Yep.
like disappears into the hole.
Yep, it looks like it disappears into liminal space. You lock it like it would, it clicks, and you pull it back out. And you feel like you have locked that door, at least for now. But now you possess this key that something inside wants. And that is where we're going to end.
Yay!
So I do have a question though. Would Danny tell anybody what she saw in the cabin?
I don't think immediately. I think she has to process it because
Okay.
Danny doesn't believe that that's them. She
Okay.
really believes that it's something else. So she's
Would, would you,
processing.
would you tell us like around a campfire, like a campfire story, like the couple nights later, or like right before we go home?
So, what if I told you guys like something that's real and spooky? Like, I think that's how she leads into the story.
Okay.
Hold
So,
Well,
on, let
like,
me
hmm?
hold on.
if
Let me get some more pixie sticks.
if you're talking
Oh
about
yeah,
how you farted while you were flying through the air and that propelled you even faster, we already know we were behind you.
yeah, and it was great. But anyway, when you guys were all fighting the not werewolf, we I went in to the cabin and we were in there, and we told me to get the key out of the liminal space. Now, we
What?
said that we
Wait,
wrote
wait,
that book to get a message.
Hold
what do you
on,
mean we?
hold on. Now, did you eat both of those pixie sticks? Because I told you to just eat the one.
You said to eat the other one 15 minutes later.
Yeah, but it hadn't been quite 15 minutes. So did you eat both of them at the same time, Danny?
I had one pixie stick.
Do you have one now?
No.
All right.
But I'm real. I'm being serious. I'm being serious. There were us in the cabin, and we wrote the book, and we got the message to us, and and there's something in there, and I don't know what it is, and it's not a werewolf.
So do we need to go back in for us? Otherwise, we're going to be trapped there in the future?
We said we were trapped there, but I don't know what traps something in a liminal space. I've only been in two now.
I think we just did. I think we just trapped something in a liminal space.
Did we just trap ourselves in a liminal space?
We trapped something
This is like
in there.
so Captain America, like Series 1 comics. I love it.
You know
But
what?
like,
They should make a movie about this where things happen inside of things that happen inside of things.
I think they
right,
call
because
it,
like,
yeah, like they call it like reception or something.
but if
Yeah,
we let
yeah.
us out of the space, then there's going to be two us's. And what happens if there's two us's here and
Well,
then an us in there?
well, sci-fi movies say if there's we can't exist in the same space, like it would end the universe.
Well, like we couldn't touch.
Well, then
Like
what are we supposed to do? I,
Well, right now we don't. Right now we're in different spaces. So if we leave them in there, then the universe stays intact.
but then
so
they're
we have to
trapped in
leave
there.
the possibly not us looks like us thing in the magical space with
Well,
the thing that we don't know what it is in the magical space.
but we're here, so it can't be us.
Fighting the Red Skull,
That's
totally.
what I'm saying.
It's like that where you have an antimatter clone of yourself, and if you're the matter clone, you can't touch the antimatter clone. Otherwise, everything goes.
Yeah, there's an X-Men, right?
Does it?
Was it?
I don't know.
Really?
I don't
Was it
read.
an X-Men? Was that an X-Men?
I don't know. I don't read that one. That one's
No,
for
that was a
girls.
DC. That was DC.
Yeah, it was in like the Superman annual 4 or 45 or something like that. I don't know. My big brother reads those, and I get to read them when he's done. But
Did you know that you could swim through the arteries of a whale?
And
scene.
I think we all look at Danny like we all give Danny one of these, and
Well,
that's when like
I
the
don't
camera like
understand what
pans
any
over
of
to
you
the
are
kid.
talking about.
And credits.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good guide to monster hunting, guys.
Yay!
That was a lot
Thank
of
you
fun.
for
That was a lot of fun.
That was so much fun.
Thank you for running it for us, Crystal.
yeah, thank
Yeah.
you for
Oh, this is
inviting
great.
me.
And I've never played the pip system before. It was super fun. It was really easy to
Yeah,
pick up. I
I
need
thought
Yeah.
so too.
better pipped dice to look at, but
And
I
I
can't-
mean it is named after the pips on a dice, so yep.
That was my problem. I was using Gladys Knight dice at the beginning, so
Oh my gosh, Kaylee.
yeah, but this was so much fun.
Uh,
Thank you for running for this for us today.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
definitely, it was
Crystal,
a lot of fun.
anything else you want to say before I do some last second announcements?
Yeah, so if you are interested in the Kids Guide to Monster Hunting or Pip System, you can purchase it on Drive-Through RPG. You will also find the Pip System primers up on there. Those are I've been doing those for 3 years now, quarterly. You can get them both in physical and PDF format. And we also have our own community content for Pip System. It's called Pip World. And Kids Guide to Monster Hunting is out on there. I'm probably going to put the scenario up on there for your purchase. So watch out for that, hopefully in the coming months if I have time. Otherwise, yeah, thank you guys for coming on. If anyone's going to be at Gamehole Con in Madison next week, I will be there. And I will be running Pip System, but I'm going to be running a different style setting. So
Looking forward to it. Well, that said, definitely go out there and check out the PIP system. And I also will be at Gamehole Con. I will be there with Rue for AAW. So come on by as a booth. Come see me. Go see Crystal. Really quick, next month we will be back with more members of the Independent Game Designers Network. We're going to have 3 more games this year on that show. So, first up, we have Return to the Stars, and we will have Mark Sabalakis running us through one of his games. Then, I think it's actually the week after that, we will have Thousand Arrows with Brennan Taylor from Galileo Games. And then the week after that, which will be the first week in December, we will be doing Shanty Hunters with Tristan Zimmerman. So, really excited to have all these people coming on the channel and playing all these games. Guys, support indie games. Get out there, have a good time, look into them, tell your friends about them, and
Hmm.
share this video around and get people out there and get them knowledgeable about this stuff. So, and of course, have a happy Halloween. Uh, so that's coming up here pretty soon. Well, that said, it was a wonderful time. Again, thank you so much to everybody from the cast today. I love playing with this group. We have a great group of people. And get out there and seriously, let's play. See y'all around, everyone.